Chapter 1622. Love. Great Master Ji finally stopped looking down on Sima Yue. The way he stared at her changed again and again. Finally, he suppressed his anger. Who are you? How could he concoct such a poison? The 100 insects and 100 herbs poison isn't a difficult poison. There's no need for Great Master Ji to be so surprised, right? Sima Yue said. As for who I am, Great Master Ji doesn't have to care. I don't have any direct conflict with you. I just want to make a deal with you. Great Master Ji had already guessed it, and was not surprised. He asked, what kind of deal? Since we both have the poison and the antidote, why don't we exchange the antidote? You want the antidote for the 100 insects and 100 herbs poison? You're one of young master's men? Great Master Ji immediately understood her motive. I'm not one of your young master's men. I just happened to know him and made a deal with him, Sima Yue said. You really like to trade with others, Great Master Ji mocked. Thank you for the compliment. Great Master Ji wanted to shout. I'm not praising you. I don't have the antidote. The antidote was taken away by the patriarch. He said, Patriarch? What is he going to do with the antidote? Sima Yue was surprised. How would I know? Great Master Ji scoffed. It's all right since the antidote is gone. You can refine another one. Sima Yue said. I know, you must have left the recipe for this pill. Master Ji instinctively wanted to say no, but he realized that there was no point in saying that in front of her. I don't have that many herbs, he said. The clan head knows what kind of herbs are needed for the antidote. Once I use the herbs, the clan head will know. I think you don't want him to know, right? It's okay, I have the herbs, Sima Yue said. Show me the prescription and I'll know. Show her the formula? Great Master Ji was unwilling. Think about it carefully. Sima Yue did not force him. She stood up and walked around the room. When she saw the poison and the extracted essence on the table, she smiled. Was he having a headache because of this? No wonder he looked so angry when she came in. She condensed a flame and formed a small cauldron. Then she picked up the medicinal herb on the table and threw it in. What are you doing? Great Master Ji roared. Did she know how precious and difficult it was to extract this medicinal herb? So casually, his anger was quickly replaced by surprise. He didn't expect that not only did she not burn the herbs, she even started to condense liquid at the roots of the herbs. Was she refining? Thinking of this, he calmed down and watched her extract. Sima Yue ignored him and focused all her attention on refining. Very quickly, that stalk of medicine turned into a ball of emerald green liquid and a ball of residue. She picked up the jade bowl on the table and put the extracted essence into it. Then, with a wave of her hand, the flames and residue disappeared. Let me see. Great Master Ji ran over and snatched the jade bowl away. Seeing the emerald green essence inside, which was many times purer than what he had extracted, he looked at her in agitation. How did you do it? That's how I did it. It's just a small matter, Sima Yue said confidently. Great Master Ji wanted to say how was it a small matter? But then he remembered that she really did it casually. To her, it was indeed a small matter. He didn't expect this young lady to be such an expert. Previously, he guessed that the 100 worms and 100 herbs were not refined by her. But after this incident, he realized that she was really a poison expert. Young lady, let's discuss this properly. It's not impossible for you to have my antidote, but you have to tell me how to extract it. No, you have to stay here and discuss poison with me, Great Master Ji said agitatedly. Sima Yue looked at him strangely. Wasn't his change of heart too fast? You said that the antidote was taken away by the master, she said. I can refine it again. You said that you don't have the herbs. I can go and get them. You said that the master knows the ingredients of the antidote. If you take the herbs, you will be discovered. I still have most of the herbs here, but I'm missing a few key ones. If I only take those, I can say that I'm researching on the others if the master asks. Sima Yue stared at him, trying to determine if he was telling the truth. Great Master Ji took out the 100 worms and 100 herbs formula and said, These are my 100 worms and 100 herbs. You should believe my sincerity after seeing it. Sima Yue took the formula and looked at it. She was sure that most of the poisonous worms and herbs were similar to the ones in this formula. She knew that it should be true. Seeing that she didn't speak, Great Master Ji said again, "I swear, it's definitely this one." Sima Yue threw the formula back to him and said, "I can tell you if you want, but you can't tell anyone my identity while I'm here. I won't give you the antidote until I leave." "When are you leaving?" "I'll leave after watching your clan's competition. Don't worry, it'll only be a few days. I won't take your life," Sima Yue said. "You're leaving so soon. Can't you stay a little longer?" Great Master Ji called out. Sima Yue saw how reluctant he was and was stunned. "I still have things to do, but I'll definitely teach you how to refine it in the next few days." "All right then." Great Master Ji agreed unwillingly. Sima Yue walked to the child's side. He had fainted when she first moved. She took out the antidote and waved it under his nose. He slowly woke up. "Master, what's wrong?" The child was a little dizzy. "Nothing much. I have something to discuss with her. You can go do your thing. Don't tell anyone about what happened today." "You can't tell anyone that there's an extra person in my courtyard," Great Master Ji said. Although the child was a little confused, he didn't dare to disobey his master's orders and left obediently. His master's words were always right. "Miss Yue, look where now." Great Master Ji really wanted her to teach him, but it didn't seem likely at the moment. "What's the point of looking at me? You don't even have the herbs here. Even if I were to explain it to you, you wouldn't have anything to practice with." Sima Yue said, "I'll go to the medicinal hall now and personally ask for the missing herbs. Also bring a few stalks of this over." Great Master Ji said and left. Sima Yue stayed in the courtyard and let the child bring her to choose a bedroom. After the child left, she released some scarlet bees. Although she believed that Great Master Ji wouldn't harm her, it was still better to be safe. At this moment, the scarlet bees that were left at Mi-er's side sent news that Second Master Tao was back. Sima Yue asked them to keep a close eye on him. She was curious how Mi-er would deal with Second Master Tao. Chapter 16:23. Love. In fact, other than being curious, she was also a little worried. What if Mi-er killed him? Now that Second Master Tao had died, it would definitely cause chaos in the family. It wouldn't be good for them. Fortunately, although Mi-er was arrogant, he knew that this matter was very important to her. He didn't act according to his character, and didn't kick him out or kill him directly. When Sima Yue heard this, she was slightly relieved. She thought to herself that Mi-er still knew what was important. On the other hand, Mi-er resisted the impulse in his heart and desperately wanted to throw the people in the house out. "I say, little girl, have you made up your mind? If you miss this village, you won't have the shop anymore. After 2 days, I will use this silver water grass. At that time, even if you want it, you won't have it anymore," Second Master Tao said energetically to the empty bed. Mi-er sat on the soft couch at the side and snorted. "I won't agree to it. You better let me go. My Sima family is not to be trifled with." "Are you threatening me?" Second Master Tao was amused. "Humph. Don't think that I don't know that you never intended to give me the silver water plant from the start. Even if I agreed, I would still be imprisoned here forever. I'd rather die than be with an old pervert like you," Mi-er shouted. Second Master Tao entered an illusion the moment he entered the room. So what appeared in front of him was a furious person sitting on the bed. Seeing her pursing her lips and frowning, his anger was ignited again. He walked to the side of the bed, and the person on the bed fell backwards. She was trapped in a small space by him. What do you want to do?" "You might not know this, but I've never forced anyone to do anything. Although I admit that the way you resisted was very tempting, and it also aroused my interest. But I prefer obedient kittens," Second Master Tao said. "I won't agree to it." "Give it up," said Mill. "Really? Could it be that the 2 people guarding the door didn't tell you that if you don't agree, your end will be even worse?" Second Master Tao kissed her face. Oh, the texture was really good. Sima Yue's face turned pale from fright. "Ha ha ha. Think about it carefully. I don't have much patience." Second Master Tao laughed loudly and left. Mi-er heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, this Tao fellow didn't really do anything disgusting. Otherwise, even if he was defiling someone who didn't exist in the illusion, he was afraid that he wouldn't be able to control himself. Even if it was fake, he couldn't allow himself to have any dirty thoughts about Yu Hue. Sima Yue sensed Mier's thoughts and smiled. This fellow. Looks like I have to find something for Second Master Tao to do, so that he doesn't have to look for Mier all the time. However, she had just arrived at this place and didn't have any connections or understand the situation. She only knew that Second Master Tao liked beauties. Beauty. She suddenly thought of something and smiled unscrupulously. She sent a message to Mier saying that she would find something for Second Master Tao to do. That night, a portrait passed through the hands of several people and arrived in front of Second Master Tao. Looking at the portrait that looked like a real person, Second Master Tao felt like he couldn't breathe. Is there really such a beautiful person in this world? He asked the guard beside him. Second Master, we've already investigated thoroughly. This person really does exist. But what? But this isn't a human. It's just a spirit beast transformation. That guard replied. Spirit beast transformation? Second Master Tao's voice was obviously more interested than angry. Yes. The guard knelt on the ground and wondered if Second Master's taste was so weird. Spirit beast, I really haven't tasted one. Second Master Tao chuckled. Do you know who this person is? Where is she? She's at Rabbit Ear Mountain. The guard replied. Rabbit Ear Mountain? Then let's go to Rabbit Ear Mountain and take a look. Second Master, the clan's assessment will be held in a few days. If something happens before the assessment, why don't we go after the assessment? The guard tried to persuade him. Am I the master or are you the master? Second Master Tao kicked him. Hurry up and prepare the transportation array for me. It wouldn't take long. They could only rush back by using the transportation array. The guard groaned in his heart and got up to leave. Sima Yue received news from Qi Feng that Second Master Tao went to Rabbit Ear Mountain that night. She didn't know if he could come back alive. Since he wasn't around, Mier wanted to come back. Sima Yue thought that other than the two guards, there was no one else who knew about what happened to her. Hence, she asked him to clean up the two guards and come back secretly. Mier was elated when he heard that. After destroying the corpses, he went to Sima Yue's place under the cover of the night. Just as Mier returned to Yue's hand, she heard a knock on the door. Yue, I've refined the antidote. Great Master Ji was waiting outside the door. Sima Yue opened the door to let him in. He immediately handed over the antidote and said, This is the antidote for young master's 100 worms and 100 herbs. Is this for real? Of course it's for real. Great Master Ji blew his beard and glared. He wanted to get angry, but he didn't dare to in front of her. He chuckled and said, Don't worry, my little life is still in your hands. I also want to ask you to teach me something. I'll believe you this once. Sima Yue opened her little realm and let Tao Yixian out. When he saw Tao Yixian, Great Master Ji's expression changed a few times. In the end, he didn't say anything and didn't do anything. Sima Yue handed the antidote to Tao Yixian and said, This is the antidote that Great Master Ji personally refined. If you believe him, then eat him. Tao Yixian took the antidote and glanced at Great Master Ji. The latter proudly turned his head to the side. He didn't refine this thing for the sake of the young lord. Tao Yixian glanced at Sima Yue again. She didn't have any expression on her face, as if it didn't matter to her whether he ate the antidote or not. If it was before, he might have been suspicious. However, after walking around the little realm, he understood her quite a bit. Since she didn't say that there was anything wrong with the antidote, then there shouldn't be any problems. Thus, he ate the antidote without any hesitation. After waiting for a while, he felt his body twitch in pain. It was as if every part of his body was being cut by a knife. His internal organs were also in turmoil. He was almost about to faint from the pain. This antidote. He grabbed the chair, and the back of the chair was pulled off by him. He wanted to say that the antidote was fake, but his body was in so much pain that he couldn't say anything. His entire body fell to the ground. Sima Yue walked over and squatted down saying, This antidote is real. It's just that the process is a bit difficult to endure. Seeing how much pain you're in, I'll help you a bit more. Once you wake up, your poison will be completely cured. Tao Yixian looked at her with a dazed gaze. The pain had already made his mind a little hazy. He didn't know what Sima Yue had given him because he fainted immediately after. Chapter 16:24. When Tao Yixian woke up, he was already in bed. His whole body was still in pain, but the feeling of his spiritual energy being blocked had already disappeared. He immediately checked and found that the pain was normal. Does this mean that my poison has been cured? He moved a little, and his whole body was in pain. He thought that the process of detoxification was even worse than being poisoned. Hearing voices outside, he sat up slowly. Before he could get off the bed, he heard the door open and Sima Yue's voice came from the door. If I were you, I'd lie down. Otherwise, there will be no medicine for regret if there are any side effects. Tao Yixian also knew that his body's condition wasn't very good, so he obediently laid back down. How long have I been unconscious? Not long, just 3 or 4 days. Sima Yue walked over and checked his pulse. The poison has been cleared. Why is the detoxification process so painful? Tao Yixian asked. Your body shrank when you were poisoned. Now that you've been detoxified, it's only natural that your body will grow back. There was a process for the body to grow from small to big. You're lucky that you met me. Otherwise, you'd die from the pain even if you got the antidote. Sima Yue said. But you look better when you're young. Tao Yixian felt as if he had been teased. We're in Great Master Ji's courtyard now. Yes. No one in the clan knows, right? He asked worriedly. Even if you don't believe him, you should believe me. I still need to discuss poison techniques with him, so you should rest here. You will be able to get out of bed in 2 days. Sima Yue took out a pill and stuffed it into his mouth. She then stood up and left. Tao Yixian was a little annoyed. He didn't know if Sima Yue was angry or not. He also knew that there was no need for him to ask this question. If someone knew, would he still be able to wake up? He was probably killed while he was unconscious. However, he had asked that question out of the blue, and it had made her unhappy. Sima Yue left the room. In fact, she was not angry, but she felt that she had nothing to say to him. Moreover, they were discussing poison in the courtyard just now. She came in when she heard him wake up. Now that they were done, she had to go out. How is he? Great Master Ji asked. Old Ji, your poison of 100 insects and herbs is much more powerful than mine. This detoxification process is really good. Sima Yue returned to her seat. You're the one who's more powerful than me. Great Master Ji said. If my poison was used on you, it wouldn't work. But you poisoned me. I was just lucky, Sima Yue said. My advantage is that I'm young and have a disguise. You don't know me well, but I know you. In that case, there's no comparison at all. All right, let's stop flattering each other. Why don't you take a look at how to cure this poison? Great Master Ji said as he pushed a piece of paper in front of her. For the past 2 days, the two of them had been playing this kind of game. One of them would take out the raw materials of the poison without saying the amount and refining method, and then let the other guess and give the corresponding antidote. Most of the time, it was Great Master Ji who gave it, and Sima Yue would guess. Although it wasn't 100% accurate, it was 90% accurate. And every time Sima Yue gave him the raw materials, Great Master Ji would take a long time to study them. It wasn't that his poison skills weren't good, but because the materials that Sima Yue took out were all very rare or tricky. However, Great Master Ji didn't care that he was inferior to her. Every time he saw Sima Yue's recipe, he would be very excited. The two of them played like this for 2 days and still couldn't get enough of it. Sima Yue picked up the paper and looked at it. She didn't answer immediately, but placed it on the table and lightly tapped on the paper with her right hand. Old Ji, you should know about Tao Yixian's situation and what I want to do, right? She asked. I know. So what? Haven't you thought of telling family head Tao and the others? Great Master Ji rolled his eyes and said, why should I tell them? Aren't you guys together? Who said that I'm with them? Sima Yue was stunned. Could it be that they weren't? Their surname is Tao and my surname is Ji. I'm not from their family. I'm not even a guest official. I'm just making a deal with them. They provide me with a quiet life, and I provide them with some poison. That's all. I don't participate in the power struggle between them, so of course I don't belong to any faction. Great Master Ji said. If I can stay here, then I'll stay. If I can't, then I'll leave. It's not like I'm begging them. Sima Yue didn't think that they had this kind of relationship. Then do you know who wanted this 100 worms and 100 herbs poison back then? She asked. I don't know. I only know that the person who came had the family head's waist token. I've always only recognized the waist token and not the person, so I didn't pay attention to the people in the family. So even though I didn't know him, I still gave him the poison. Great Master Ji knew that she wanted to ask about what happened back then, so he told her everything he knew. He had the family head's waist token? If it wasn't him, then he must have a good relationship with him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to get the waist token. Since we're going to chat, shouldn't there be good wine, dishes, desserts, and fruits? Great Master Ji asked. He ate the food she made yesterday and was craving it again today. Sima Yue looked at him and knew that if she wanted to get more information out of him, she had to satisfy him first. Thus, she didn't ask any more questions. She got up and prepared 4 dishes, a pot of wine and a plate of spirit fruits. Great Master Ji ate a heartless fruit first. Even though he was poisoned by it, it didn't stop him from falling in love with it. Sima Yue sat back down and poured a cup of wine for Great Master Ji. Then she poured another cup for herself before asking, You know about the poison, but what about the antidote? Was it given together? Or was it given later? The family head personally came to take the poison. Great Master Ji took a sip of wine. At that time, I was still asking why he took so long to get the antidote. He said, I forgot. His expression was a little unnatural. Even though I could tell, I said that I wouldn't interfere with the Gu family's matters, so I didn't ask too much and gave him the antidote. Later on, I heard that the young master had been plotted against by someone and had already escaped for a long time. When Sima Yue heard this, she could already roughly guess what had happened. The person who had poisoned him shouldn't have been Tao Yixian's father. Thinking about it, he should have felt a little comforted. However, his father had still been willing to participate in the plot. As for what part, she didn't know. As for the mastermind behind it, it should have been someone family head Tao wanted to protect. Otherwise, he wouldn't have taken the blame. There were only a few people who hated Tao Yixian to the bone and wanted to get rid of him. However, there weren't many people who could make family head Tao protect him like this. Chapter 1625. Love, no matter what, between Tao Yixian and the person behind him. Family head Tao had chosen the latter. Although he hadn't done it himself, the damage done to Tao Yixian wasn't small. Sima Yue turned around to look at his room. He must have heard their conversation. She wondered what he would think. At this time, it was better to let him stay quietly. I don't know why Master is here to get the antidote. Great Master Ji said. But I think it's more likely that he wants to destroy the evidence. Why don't you guess that he's trying to find Tao Yixian and cure him of the poison? Sima Yue asked. Because when I gave him the antidote, I said that if he wanted to detoxify the poison, it would be best to prepare 2 more painkillers. Otherwise, the poisoned person wouldn't be able to take it. He only said that he knew, but he didn't ask me for anything else. He just took that to relieve his stress and left. Great Master Ji said. It's not that serious to destroy the evidence, is it? Don't we still have you? Sima Yue stared at him. As long as you're alive, there's still hope. However, Great Master Ji smiled and shook his head. You don't know my habits. Under normal circumstances, I won't casually refine an antidote for others. After saying that, he raised his head and glanced at her. If she hadn't threatened and tempted him, he wouldn't have refined it for her. Sima Yue understood the look in his eyes. She rubbed her nose and chuckled. I'm in a different situation. Junior has indeed offended you before. Come, let me offer you a toast as an apology. How about that? You little girl, do you often do this kind of thing? Giving a sweet date after a slap? Great Master Ji raised his wine glass and clinked it with hers before downing it. Hee, not often, just occasionally, Sima Yue said. I had no choice. You said you made a deal with the young master. What is it? Sima Yue thought about it and told him about how she came to look for someone. So, you came to the Lost Island to find your master and teacher? Great Master Ji said. Yes, they came here for me. Now that their whereabouts are unknown, how can I just leave them be? Sima Yue sighed. Now, I just hope that they are not suffering here. Your master and the others really took in a good disciple. Great Master Ji was a little envious of Su Jin and the others. Not to mention whether or not she could find them, but her sincerity was very touching. He glanced at the little girl who was fiddling with the herbs in the courtyard. He wondered how much better his little fellow would be compared to her when the time came. Just then, there was a knock on the door, interrupting their conversation. The child went to open the door and saw the people outside. He asked, "What's the matter? Is Great Master Ji here?" The clan had asked him to come over immediately. The person who came said anxiously, "My master is busy." Seeing that his master didn't say anything, the child directly refused. After saying that, he went to close the door. "Young master, don't be in such a hurry to close the door. This is the order of the clan head. Something happened to the second master, and the clan head wants him to hurry over and take a look." "What does second master's accident have to do with my master? If you don't leave now, I'll release poison," the child threatened. "Something really happened to second master. I'll have to trouble you to tell Great Master Ji. I'm here with the clan head's token." The guard's voice was very anxious. It seemed like second master's situation wasn't good. Sima Yue's heart skipped a beat when she first heard about second master. She didn't think that that fellow would actually come back alive. Why didn't that woman just kill him? Seeing how anxious that person was, she didn't know what second master Tao's situation was like. Thinking of this, she stood up and stood behind Great Master Ji. She respectfully said, "Old master, since something happened to second master and the clan had sent someone to invite you over, shouldn't we go? It's not good if we don't go, right?" Once she spoke, the guard knew that Great Master Ji was in the courtyard, but he couldn't see them from his position. "Great Master Ji, the clan head said that you must go." He shouted towards the courtyard. Great Master Ji looked at Sima Yue, who was acting like a servant, and raised his eyebrows. "You want to go and watch the show?" Sima Yue smiled very happily. "What's wrong with watching a show? It's better than being cooped up here. Since that's the case, let's go and take a look." Great Master Ji brought Sima Yue out and said to the child, "You have to look after the house properly. Most of the things in our courtyard are poisonous. Don't let anyone in." "Master, I understand," the child obediently replied. Sima Yue looked at him and thought of his gaze just now. She thought that he would definitely be more vicious than Shi Qianji when he grew up. The guard outside the courtyard was stunned when he saw the servant girl behind Great Master Ji. Wasn't Great Master Ji a loner, who didn't interact with women? When did he have a servant girl? "Didn't you say that the situation was urgent? Why are you still standing here?" Great Master Ji said in a low voice. Yes. Great Master Ji, please follow me." The guard brought them directly to second Master Tao's residence. They only found out about his situation on the way. "You're saying that second Master Tao went to Rabbit Ear Mountain to flirt with that old monster and got poisoned?" Sima Yue cried out in shock. She wanted to use that old monster to attract second Master Tao's attention, so that he would get into an accident when he went to Rabbit Ear Mountain. She didn't think that this fellow would be so daring to actually flirt with that old monster. Second Master Tao's luck is not bad to be able to escape from that person. Great Master Ji also knew about that lady in white and her terrifying ability. Second Master Tao didn't escape. He was released by that lady. The guard said, that lady said that she would let him off today on account of her relationship with the Tao family. However, even if he was spared from death, he couldn't escape punishment. She waved her hand and second Master Tao fainted. After the guard brought second Master Tao back, the family had invited a doctor to take a look at him, but he said that he was poisoned. They couldn't do anything. So the family had wanted to invite Great Master Ji over. Sima Yue touched her chin. She didn't expect that lady to be related to the Tao family. Although she didn't take Second Master Tao's life this time, he was unconscious, so the effect was the same. Very quickly, the group of people arrived at Second Master Tao's courtyard. The guard brought them to Second Master Tao's house. At this moment, a person just happened to walk out of the house. The guard in front quickly bowed. Family head Great Master Ji is here. Sima Yue raised her head and saw a man with a dignified appearance. His facial features didn't look like Tao Yixian. She guessed that he looked more like his mother. Family head Tao saw Great Master Ji and quickly bowed. Great Master Ji, quickly take a look at my second brother. What kind of poison did he get? Why is he still unconscious? Family head, don't be anxious. Since I'm here, I will naturally examine Second Master Tao properly. Great Master Ji said as he was about to enter the house. Sima Yue followed behind him, but was stopped by family head Tao. Who are you? Chapter 1626. Love. Patriarch Tao placed a hand in front of Sima Yue, blocking her from behind Great Master Ji. Just like that, Great Master Ji entered the room while she remained outside. Master, this servant is. I brought her back the last time I went out. I saw that she was quite talented in the art of poison, so I brought her back to do odd jobs. Great Master Ji said. So it's the disciple that Great Master Ji has his eyes on. Please. Patriarch Tao stepped aside to let Sima Yue in. Sima Yue bowed and followed Great Master Ji in. Close the door. Master Ji's voice rang out as she stepped past the door. Sima Yue turned around and looked at the people outside. Seeing that they did not have any strange expressions on their faces, she obediently closed the door. This Great Master Ji's position in the Tao family was really high. She sighed in her heart. This is my habit, Great Master Ji said as he set up a barrier. He did not like it when others looked at him when he was treating patients. It felt like they were looking at a monkey. Sima Yue laughed and said, how can you compare yourself like that? However, if he did that, she would have more freedom here. Great Master Ji walked over and looked at Second Master Tao before saying, he was indeed poisoned. This poison is so strange. Sima Yue's interest was piqued. Why is it strange? I think he was poisoned, or maybe he just fell asleep. Come and take a look. Great Master Ji stood up and asked her to examine Second Master Tao. Sima Yue felt Second Master Tao's pulse, and was also surprised. She said, this situation is really strange. Right? Am I right? Great Master Ji said, from the looks of it, it should be an accidental poisoning. I think being poisoned is just one of the reasons. His body must have been tampered with, Sima Yue said. You have a grudge with this guy? Great Master Ji asked. Forget it. I was wondering why you would come here. Great Master Ji said. However, even I can't do anything about this poison. I can't do anything even if you want me to. If you can't do it, then don't do it. Just let him lie there. It's fine, Sima Yue said. If I go out like this, the Patriarch will probably go crazy. He usually dotes on Second Master a lot. Great Master Ji said. You don't care about that, do you? Sima Yue smiled. Besides, I didn't ask you to do nothing. Even if you do research, it will take you at least a few days to get results, right? You just need to extend the time a little. How long? Great Master Ji didn't even bat an eyelid. It was just a small favor, so he helped her out. Who asked him to like this little fellow more? It won't take long. Just don't let him attend the conference, Sima Yue said. No problem. Even if you didn't mention it, I reckon that I would have to wait until then to figure it out. Great Master Ji said. Old Ji, you're so nice, Sima Yue said gratefully. Fine, fine, fine. You're the first person to say that I'm good, Old Ji said. Others had always scolded him for being cruel and merciless, or for being a loner. No one had ever said that he was a good person before. That's because they can't see your good side. Sima Yue said. They only have fear, dread, respect, and reverence for you. Naturally, they won't be able to see your good side. You sure know how to talk. Great Master Ji took out a jade bowl, and filled it with second Master Tao's fresh blood. Then he retracted the barrier and said, "Let's go out and report." Okay. Sima Yue took a step back and let him walk in front. Then, she quickly fed him a pill when she turned around. The people outside were waiting anxiously. When they saw the two of them coming out, they quickly surrounded them. "Great Master Ji, how is it? Is he poisoned?" Patriarch Tao asked. "Patriarch, second master is indeed poisoned. This poison is very strange. I have never seen it before. I need to do some research," Great Master Ji said. "But Patriarch, don't worry. Second master's life is not in danger for now." Patriarch Tao's heart relaxed a little after knowing that second Master Tao's life was not in danger. "Then I'll have to trouble Great Master Ji," he said. "This is what I should do," Great Master Ji said. "However, this poison is really too strange. Even if it's me, I will definitely be able to help second master recover completely. But as for what side effects there will be, I can't give you a clear answer now. As long as Great Master Ji tries his best," Patriarch Tao said. The other doctors, alchemists, and poison masters in the family were all helpless. He was already more capable than others to be able to save second Master Tao. "Patriarch, I heard that second master was turned into this state by old Rabbit Ear Mountain. Maybe you can find her and get the antidote," Great Master Ji suggested sincerely. I'll consider it. But we'll have to rely on Great Master Ji here. As long as second brother wakes up, the family will definitely give you a big gift," Patriarch Tao said. "Even if you don't say this, I'll try my best. Such an interesting poison is worth my research. Patriarch will head back first," Great Master Ji said and left. Sima Yue followed behind him. When they were about to leave the courtyard, they brushed past a lady. "Why are you here? Didn't I ask you to rest in the courtyard? Now that you're pregnant, you can't just walk around. I heard that second brother's condition is very serious. I was worried about you, so I came over to take a look," that lady said gently. "Second brother hasn't woken up yet," but Great Master Ji said. Sima Yue walked far away and couldn't hear the rest of the words. But there was no need to guess who this lady was. She was definitely the so-called madam of the patriarch, Yin Lian. She was so delicate and weak that one couldn't help but feel pity for her. No wonder Patriarch Tao was so infatuated with her that he didn't even want his son. She was pregnant? Didn't they say that Patriarch Tao couldn't have children? Why was she pregnant again? She asked Great Master Ji this question. Puffed. They said that they found some godly doctor from somewhere and cured Patriarch's body. They said that he could have children now. In less than 2 months, Madam got pregnant. Great Master Ji said with disdain when he talked about the godly doctor. Since there's a godly doctor, why didn't he come to treat him today? He left long ago. I don't even know if his corpse is still around, Great Master Ji said as he walked. Sima Yue guessed that he must have been silenced. Those people weren't as insightful as Great Master Ji. The two of them returned to the courtyard one after the other. After the child opened the door for them, he said, "Master, no one came in." "Well done. I'll teach you how to identify poisons tonight." "Okay." The child ran off with a smile. Great Master Ji found a container to store second Master Tao's bowl of blood before asking, "Little girl, what poison did you give second Master Tao?" "Ah, you saw it." Sima Yue didn't feel awkward after being caught red-handed. She smiled magnanimously. "Actually, it's nothing much. I just want his little brother to sleep forever." Let his little brother sleep forever? Wasn't this to make him unable to be a man in the future? Before he could speak, Sima Yue added, "There's no cure for it." Chapter 1627. Love, there was no antidote? Great Master Ji couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat when he saw how relaxed and calm she was. "How did you refine it? Since you can concoct a poison, you should have an antidote." "We do have the antidote, but we're unable to make it. Isn't that the same as having no solution?" Sima Yue said. "The antidote contains extinct medicinal herbs?" Great Master Ji raised his eyebrows. To be able to concoct an antidote with such medicinal ingredients, it meant that the ingredients used to concoct the poison were also very rare. "Yue, We can be considered friends, right? Why don't you let me take a look at your poison? Maybe I can find another way to solve this problem. Sima Yue looked at him and said with a smile, Old Ji, do you want to try? Perhaps experiencing it yourself will be even more effective. Experience it personally? Then forget it. Anyway, I have a test subject here. When the time comes, I'll just start from him. What a joke. Although he rarely put his energy into this, he was still a normal man. He would not be able to do that in the future. Not to mention other things, he could not accept it psychologically. Sima Yue leaned on the table and laughed even harder. Master Ji was embarrassed by her smile. He flung his sleeves and snorted. I'm not going to talk about this with you. I'm going to research the antidote. Sima Yue saw that he was blushing and thought that no matter what, he was still a few generations older than her, so she stopped teasing him. She followed behind him and watched him extract the components of the poison from Second Master Tao's blood. Old Ji, do you think that Patriarch Tao will go to Rabbit Ear Mountain to ask for the antidote? Why do you care? Old Ji asked casually. Didn't that woman make Second Master Tao look like this? However, she didn't take Second Master Tao's life, and even said that she spared his life on account of their previous friendship. Tell me, if they went to look for that girl, would she give them the antidote? Sima Yue asked. Great Master Ji was stunned for a moment before replying. No. Are you sure? The woman from Rabbit Ear Mountain is called Witch by everyone. She has some ties with the previous family head, but that was many years ago. However, that bit of friendship had already been used up in order to save Second Master Tao's life. If the clan had dared to bring people to ask her for the antidote, it would remind her of Second Master Tao's molestation. She might even get angry and kill the people he sent. There is even a possibility that he will vent his anger on the Tao family. Great Master Ji analyzed. Don't be fooled by how well Master treats Second Master Tao. He's actually a very selfish person. If things threaten his own interests, he. So that woman is called Witch. You seem to know her quite well. Sima Yue said. I don't think so. I used to live with her for a while. PFFF. Sima Yue almost choked. Master Ji's words were truly shocking. Master Ji glanced at her. Why are you so surprised? When did you live with her? Sima Yue kept her smile and pretended to be serious. I was still young then. I went to Rabbit Ear Mountain to study poisonous plants and insects. I was attacked by spirit beasts and almost died. It was Witch who saved me. As I was severely injured, she brought me away. Even though many years had passed, he still remembered what happened back then. Was Witch very lonely? Sima Yue asked. She was very lonely. Great Master Ji's tone was a little desolate. It was lonely at the top. How could someone like her not be lonely? Sima Yue recalled the time she interacted with Witch. She did not have the spirit of wholeheartedly pursuing Tao like others. Instead, she seemed to be indifferent to everything. Now that she thought about it, that should be loneliness. Since she felt lonely, why didn't she leave Rabbit Ear Mountain? Great Master Ji shook his head. I don't know either. Maybe she was waiting for something. Sima Yue rolled her eyes and said to Great Master Ji, Old Ji, I'll go check on young master. Take your time to study. Without waiting for his reply, she turned around and left. She returned to her own house and set up a barrier before calling Little Lucky out. Little Lucky, do you miss Witch? Sima Yue asked. Witch? The lady who took you away from Rabbit Ear Mountain. Sima Yue explained. You mean Big Sister? I miss her. Little Lucky nodded. Are we going to look for her? I still have things to do. I can't look for her. Sima Yue said. However, I heard from Old Ji that she was very lonely living alone in the mountain. Sigh, but she didn't seem to be willing to leave. Big Sister said that she had agreed to meet someone there. In the end, that person didn't come and died. That's why she stood guard there alone, said Little Lucky. So that's the case. She's a true woman. Sima Yue said with some emotion. That's right. Little Lucky agreed. Since she suffered so much on the mountain, why don't we let her come down the mountain and stay with us? Sima Yue asked. Since she's already dead, she can't be trapped in the past forever. Life should be looking forward. Let big sister stay with us. Little Lucky's eyes lit up. If she stays with us, she won't be so lonely. That's right. Even if she doesn't stay with us, she can go to other places. She won't be so lonely if she interacts more with people. Sima Yue said. You're right. I was wondering why I felt that big sister's aura wasn't right. So it's because no one interacts with her. Little Lucky said. Isn't she on good terms with Helmsman Tua? Then they can be considered friends. She can go and find her friends and interact with them. Right? People should have friends. Little Lucky agreed with this point of view. It's a pity that no one can interact with her. Sima Yue sighed. Since she likes you, why don't you go and persuade her to go out for a walk and not stay in Rabbit Ear Mountain all the time? How about it? I'll go. Little Lucky was a little moved, but he was afraid that Sima Yue was purposely sending him away. After hesitating for a while, he shook his head and rejected. Not only will you go, I'll let Little Roar go with you, Sima Yue said. I'll also let those ancient spirit beasts go with you to ensure your safety. Little Roar will go too. Sima Yue nodded. She thought that Little Roar was the best at tricking people. How could she leave him out of this kind of thing? That's fine. As long as Little Roar was around, she wouldn't purposely send him away. He could even bring Little Roar to make Big Sister happy. Then it's settled. Sima Yue called Little Roar out and instructed him, especially the high-speed Little Roar. He must persuade her to leave Rabbit Ear Mountain and go out to see the world. Little Roar saw Sima Yue winking at him and understood. He patted his chest and promised to complete the mission. Chapter 16:28. Love. Little Lucky left in high spirits. Before Little Roar left, he sent her a message, asking her why she was doing this. He knew that Yue would not be so free as to meddle in other people's business. Oh no, she didn't have balls. She was probably too bored. Sima Yue pursed her lips, but she knew that Little Roar was still reliable at crucial moments, so she said to him, It's not that I want to meddle in other people's affairs, but this which is related to the Tao family. If she wants to help the Tao family, it will be more troublesome for us to take action. If she's not here, then we don't have to worry about that. I see. Then Little Lucky and I will bring her out for a walk. We'll come back when we're more or less done. Little Roar said. All right, I'll cook a feast for you when I'm done. I'll remember that. Don't deny it when you come back. After Little Roar finished speaking, he cut off the connection between the two. Sima Yue could not help but laugh. This guy's personality had not changed even after so many years. Things had changed with the passage of time. To her, it was also a kind of consolation that there were still people who maintained their original intentions. Therefore, even though the other spirit beasts had all become mature and steady, only Little Roar still had that playful look on his face. She did not say anything to him. With her around, it just had to be happy. She came out of her room and went to Tao Yixian's room. He was lying on the bed, his eyes staring straight at the ceiling. What's wrong? She went to him and took his wrist to examine him. So in a family like this, kinship is pitifully thin. Tao Yixian came back to his senses. His previous expression had disappeared. Sima Yue could feel that he seemed to have changed from the inside out. So you heard everything. Sima Yue retracted her hand. You're recovering well. You'll be able to get out of bed tomorrow. Tao Yixian looked at her. Isn't this what you wanted me to hear? Sima Yue pursed her lips and did not deny it. The sooner you know the truth, the better. I know. Tao Yixian stared at the roof once more. Actually, I should have known that he doesn't have any fatherly feelings for me. Whatever use I had for him had long since been exhausted the moment he stabilized his position as patriarch. It's rare for him to tolerate me for 400 years. I remember you said that your father couldn't have children for some reason, right? Sima Yue asked. Yes. Why are you asking this? Tao Yixian asked. Madam is pregnant. I heard that a godly doctor was hired to treat your father, but the strange thing is that the godly doctor disappeared after treating your father. He didn't stay at home. Sima Yue said. What? Tao Yixian exclaimed in a low voice. Haha, the patriarch believes it. He didn't even call him father and directly called him family head. It seemed that the last bit of affection between father and son had dissipated. Of course I do, Sima Yue said. Speaking of which, I feel quite sorry for you. Sympathy? I don't need it, Tao Yixian said. In the past I couldn't see past it. Now that I've seen past it, it's nothing much. I just feel that my mother isn't worth it. She saved him, gave him her chastity, gave birth to a son for him, and in the end, lost her life because of him. But in the end, we've become a thorn in someone else's side. Then what do you plan to do from now on? Sima Yue asked. Our deal is only to send you back to the position of young patriarch. It doesn't include dealing with your father. I know, Tao Yixian said. That's why I'm not asking for anything more from you. However, if I can become the patriarch, I'll be able to mobilize more resources and help you find your master and teacher. So, I just want you to ensure my safety, Tao Yixian said. Sima Yue shrugged. What's the difference? Of course. If I just want to take back the position of young patriarch, it'll be much easier. If I want to overthrow him and become the patriarch, it'll be much harder. The danger I'll face will also be much greater. In comparison, what you'll have to do is much more dangerous. Is there something you haven't told me? Sima Yue crossed her arms and stared into his eyes. You're very confident, so there's something you haven't told me. Hehe, you've even found out. Tao Yixian said. Many years ago, I've already sensed the danger, so I've been collecting information. As long as I make this public, then his position as the patriarch won't be stable. Even if you overthrow him, there are many others who can take over that position. Do you think you'll have a chance of winning? Sima Yue said. I have my own plans. Tao Yixian said. Originally, I wanted to drag them down with me after my death. I never thought that there would be a day where I could use them. As expected, I can't underestimate you. Sima Yue looked at him deeply. If it wasn't for your foster father's betrayal, you wouldn't have ended up like that, right? From a child who had a hard time surviving to someone who had silently obtained decisive evidence, it turned out that she had always underestimated him. Tao Yixian looked back at her. Don't worry, I won't do anything to you. I don't care if you do anything to me or not, Sima Yue said. Anyway, I won't be staying in this place for long, so there's no conflict of interest between us. If you really want to do anything to me. She didn't finish her sentence. She glanced at him before turning around to leave. So you're saying that we've reached a deal? Sima Yue had just walked to the door when she heard the voice behind her. She waved her hand and strode out. Tao Yixian smiled. Her meaning was clear. He knew her background, so would he dare to touch her? Whether he dared or not, whether he knew or not, whether he was willing or not, there was a huge difference. The next day, Tao Yixian got out of bed. After his strength and body recovered, he wanted to leave but was stopped by Sima Yue and Great Master Ji. With your current appearance, you'll be discovered if you walk out 3 meters. In less than 10 minutes, you'll be caught. Great Master Ji didn't hesitate to poke at his sore spot. Tao Yixian stood where he was, clenching and relaxing his fists. After a few deep breaths, he finally calmed himself down. It's not impossible for you to go find your foster father, Sima Yue said. But what will happen after you find him? It's broad daylight right now. Will you still be able to confront him directly? But I won't be satisfied if I don't see him, Tao Yixian said. What's wrong with that? Just meet him. But first you have to know how to disguise yourself like me. Sima Yue looked him up and down. I don't think you'll be able to do that. Tao Yixian had been curious about her disguise before. It was definitely impossible for him to change so thoroughly. Then we can only use the second method. What method? Great Master Ji asked. Tie him up and bring him here. I think this won't be a problem for old Ji at all, right? Great Master Ji. Chapter 1629. Love. Although he was speechless, Great Master Ji still managed to get her back that night under the temptation of a lost poison recipe. Sima Yue did not care how he brought her back. She looked at the person lying on the ground. Her looks were barely satisfactory. Tao Yixian clenched his fists when he saw him. Old Ji, wake him up. Sima Yue said. Old Ji took out a small pill and fed it to him. Then he got up and the two of them left the room together, leaving Tao Yixian to face his adoptive father alone. Before he left, Sima Yue set up a barrier around him. She and Great Master Ji stood in the courtyard and couldn't hear the commotion inside. She didn't know if he was angry or sad. How do you think this brat will deal with his adoptive father? Great Master Ji felt that he was more interested in things other than poison when he was with her. I don't think they'll let him go so easily, Sima Yue said. As for how we're going to deal with him, it depends on whether he still remembers our friendship over the years. You really want to help him become the head of the family? Great Master Ji turned to look at her. What's the difference? Sima Yue smiled at Great Master Ji. It's the same thing anyway. These old bones of mine will probably never have a day of peace because of you, Great Master Ji said. Old Ji, if you have nowhere to go, you can go to Heartbreak Valley. There are a lot of poisonous creatures there, so you can do any research you want, Sima Yue said as she threw a token to him. It's very free inside. As long as you make a small oath before you enter that you will not do anything dangerous in the valley, you will be fine. What force is that? Great Master Ji held the token. I'm more familiar with it. Sima Yue explained the general situation of Paramount Valley to him. She told him that if he wanted to go, he could ask Shimen Feng to arrange a place for him that he liked. When Great Master Ji heard that there was such a good place, he was rather moved. However, he was used to the life of the Tao family. If it wasn't for the fact that he couldn't continue living, he didn't plan on moving for a while. I'll keep this for now. Who knows, it might come in handy one day. Great Master Ji chuckled as he kept the token. What do you plan to do next? What do you need from me? You don't have to do anything. You still have to live in the Tao family in the future, so you don't have to get involved in this matter anymore. Great Master Ji was stunned. He was not allowed to participate at this time? This matter will definitely cause unrest in the Tao family. If you participate too much, it won't be easy for you to have a foothold in the Tao family. You don't belong to any side. If you don't participate in this kind of thing, no one will say anything to you in the future, Sima Yue said. Great Master Ji's heart throbbed a little. He opened his mouth, but his throat felt a little congested. All right, let's not bother about him. Let's go back to our own business, Sima Yue said and went back to her room. Great Master Ji looked at her back and laughed silently. It wasn't the usual sneer or feminine smile, but a kind of joy that came from the bottom of his heart. Children nowadays. He sighed. Forget it, this old man will also go and study that prescription. Sima Yue didn't know what Tao Yixian had said to his foster father. She only knew that he had come to ask her for a bottle of corpse-dissolving water. When he left, he said, I gave him a quick death. In the end, he didn't let his hatred destroy his conscience. There were only 3 days left until the Tao family's great assembly. Sima Yue took Tao Yixian away in the middle of the night. She couldn't help him with what he was about to do, nor did she want to interfere. The only thing she had to do now was find the Tao family's old ancestor on the day of the Great Assembly and guarantee that he wouldn't die on that day. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. On the morning of the Tao family's Great Assembly, she had just come out when she saw Great Master Ji standing in the corridor. Old Ji, thank you for taking care of me these past few days. Sima Yue handed him a pill and said with a smile, Mine is much gentler than yours. I didn't feel anything during the detoxification process. This old man did it on purpose. Great Master Ji took the antidote and swallowed it. The stagnant feeling in his body slowly dissipated. You. Be careful. I will. Sima Yue said. Old Ji, if you come up with anything good in the future, you must share it with this junior. You too. Old Ji, you sure have confidence in me. Sima Yue walked out of the courtyard. As she walked, she instructed Thousand Resonance to transform and return to his original appearance. She turned around and the sun shone on her body. Old Ji, you must take a good look at my appearance. You can't go to Paramount Valley without knowing what I look like. I'm leaving. Goodbye. Great Master Ji knew that Sima Yue had never revealed her true appearance here. But he was still shocked by her sudden transformation. He only regained his senses when she returned to her original appearance and left the courtyard. Master, master, how did big sister Yue do it? The little child's eyes were filled with worship and his eyes were wide open. You can ask her yourself when you grow up. Great Master Ji slapped the child's hands off his legs and went to the research room. These few days were just a small interlude in his life. Now his life was about to return to normal. However, it suddenly felt a little cold and cheerless. After Sima Yue left Great Master Ji's courtyard, she turned left and right, avoiding the guards as she headed north. When she came out of their courtyard, she came into contact with Thousand Resonance and returned to her original appearance. She even changed into the servant girl's clothes. She hadn't been idle these few days and had been investigating the Tao family's situation. With the map from Helmsman Tua and the contribution of the Scarlet Bees these days, she had a clear grasp of where the roads were, when the guards would patrol, and so on. She avoided the guards and didn't meet anyone from the courtyard to the back mountain. When she reached the foot of the mountain, she wasn't in a hurry to go up the mountain. Instead, she looked in the direction of the Tao family's courtyard. That place had been filled with earth-shattering noises before, but it had quieted down now. Tao Yixian should have appeared with his men. Looks like I have to hurry. She muttered to herself as she turned and walked up the mountain. Stop! 2 guards stood in the middle of the road, blocking her way. Sima Yue looked at their strength, and the 2 elders from the Egret clan appeared behind her. Since they're here, I'll leave them to you. She ordered the 2 elders. Young miss, please continue forward, the elder said as he began to fight with the 2 guards. Sima Yue continued forward. Before she reached the top of the mountain, a few more people flew out. Sima Yue called out the elders from her spirit pagoda and continued forward. Who are you? Sima Yue raised her head and looked at the person on the giant rock in front of her, saying, I'm asking a passerby. Chapter 1630. Yes. That man frowned slightly. Ask a passerby? Ask where the road was? No matter who you are, this is the place where the old ancestor is in seclusion. Quickly leave. He shouted. So easy to talk to. Sima Yue smiled. If it weren't for the fact that you were afraid that the commotion I caused would bring the old ancestor out, would you be so easy to talk to? What do you mean? What I mean is what I mean. You don't have to persuade me to leave. I came here today to see the old ancestor. Do it. She was too lazy to talk nonsense and called out all the beasts in her spirit pagoda. At this time, a group of people flew down from the mountain. Sima Yue didn't think that they would actually have so many people lying in ambush here. It seemed like they were really preventing people from getting close to the old ancestor and informing him. It was no wonder that Tao Yixian's people had all died here. With this array, they wouldn't be able to get through without some strength. However, the other party had so many people, so she wasn't anxious. Instead, she called Sima Luxian and the others out. She was the weakest and was surrounded in the middle by them. They didn't let her make a move, and this made her feel helpless. Such a big commotion, and the old ancestor didn't even hear it? Why didn't he have any reaction? The commotion here was deliberately concealed by people with intentions, and it didn't spread to the square. And over there, they didn't have the time to care about these things. Because when the younger generation of the clan was competing, the young master who betrayed the clan and went missing returned. Not only did he return, he even brought out evidence to prove his innocence. He even brought out all the evidence he had. One of them was that the madam of the clan had colluded with outsiders and plotted to take over the Tao family's business. She even said that many people with important positions were involved. Today's meeting was to test the younger generation of the clan, and also to display the clan's power in front of the people below. Tao Yixian appeared in front of everyone, and even brought evidence. It was obviously impossible to kill him like this. Both sides were in a deadlock. Sima Yue looked at the sky. They had wasted too much time here. She looked at the mountaintop and her body slowly disappeared from the sky. No one on the battlefield noticed. When she came out again, she was on the other side of the mountain. She looked at the barrier in front of her. No wonder the old ancestor couldn't hear such a big commotion. It turned out that there was a barrier. If Little Roar was here, it would be easy for her to call him out and fuse with him. But now that Little Roar was not here, this method was useless. Thinking briefly, she focused her spirit energy to attack the barrier. The great ancestor, who was in seclusion in the stone chamber, naturally felt that his boundary had been attacked. His face darkened, and there was some anger in his eyes. I wonder which junior is so impudent. Tao family, old ancestor heard that you aren't in seclusion. You should be able to hear what I'm saying, right? If you still don't come out, Tao Yixian is going to die. The Tao family's patriarch, who was originally as steady as a rock, immediately stood up. Sima Yue soon saw the stone room open and a tall and slender person walk out. Who are you? Old ancestor Tao asked. You don't need to know who I am for now. I was only asked by Tao Yixian to come here and meet you. Sima Yue stretched out her hand and pointed at the battlefield on the other side of the mountain, saying, In order to meet you, I spent a lot of effort. My men can't hold on much longer. The Tao family's patriarch's face darkened. He retracted his boundary and appeared in the air in a flash. He shouted at the people on the other side, Stop! When the Tao family members saw the patriarch of the Tao family, they could not help but shiver. They could not help but stop. As for the others, when they saw that Sima Yue, who was beside him, did not say anything, they stopped as well. When the Tao family's patriarch saw this situation, how could he not understand? He was so angry that his aura was released. You all have guts. Sima Yue felt his powerful aura and retreated to the side, reminding him, These people are all small fries. It's not too late to take care of them later. However, if you don't get there in time, Tao Yixian might lose his life. What he said was not wrong. This was because their family had heard the fighting in the plaza. Humph. He flung his long sleeves and the Tao family members were frozen in place. Sima Yue was dumbstruck by this. Too amazing. The Tao family's patriarch ignored her shocked expression and flew directly towards the plaza. Yue, let's go too. Han Miaoshuang came over and said, Where are we going? Sima Yue was studying how the Tao family's patriarch had trapped them and asked instinctively, We're going to take a look at the situation on Tao Yixian's side. Han Miaoshuang said, Didn't you say you wanted to ensure his safety? Aren't we going to take a look? Oh, his patriarch is already there. What danger can there be? We've already done the most dangerous thing. Sima Yue said. He had evidence in his hands and the patriarch was there as well. As long as his evidence was solid enough, there would not be any changes to today's situation. Compared to that side, she was more interested in this. Han Miaoshuang watched as she circled around those people and pulled her hand, saying, We can study these people after the matter is over. Let's go over there now. Sima Yue was dragged along by her, and followed unwillingly. Before she left, she remembered to take back the beasts and the Egret clan elders. When they arrived at the plaza, the matter was already nearing its end. No matter how intense the battle was before, once the patriarch made a move, no one would be able to escape. Only with reason could the patriarch make a move. This was also the reason why Sima Yue called the Tao family's patriarch over for Tao Yixian. If he was unreasonable, what she would do today was not to invite him out, but to think of a way to not let him know about what happened today. Evil creature. What are you doing? She's your mother. Are you trying to kill them all? She's pregnant with your younger brother. Patriarch Tao's berating voice traveled far, and they heard it before they even reached the plaza. Younger brother? I'm afraid Patriarch doesn't think that he's my younger brother, but your only son. Tao Yixian laughed coldly. What? You think I'm wrong? Evil creature. Patriarch Tao wanted to grab Tao Yixian, but was stopped by the people beside him. Did I hit the nail on the head? Tao Yixian avoided him. I was poisoned by the 100 insects and 100 herbs poison, and was being chased after. As my father, you didn't look for me and even destroyed the antidote for the 100 insects and 100 herbs poison. Oh, that's not right. I can't say that you didn't look for me. You sent people to the Tang family, and I was chased all the way to Rabbit Ear Mountain by the Tang family. So you could be considered to have looked for me. Hiss. When everyone heard this, they couldn't help but gasp. A father chased after his son? Was this really something a patriarch would do? What nonsense are you spouting? To be able to mobilize your people and use your token to get the poison from Great Master Ji. Who else could it be other than the person beside you? You're actually shielding him even though he betrayed the family. Father, is this how you explain things to the clan members? Tao Yixian's words were heartbreaking. Chapter 1631. Love. As soon as Tao Yixian's words fell, the crowd burst into cheers. If it was just an ordinary crime, it would be fine if he wanted to cover up for her. This was a great crime of betrayal. How could they tolerate it? Sima Yue never thought that Tao Yixian would actually have such evidence. It looked like she had really underestimated him. No, she had been improving her opinion of him, but he kept surprising her. He was truly a scheming man. Fortunately, I won't have much interaction with him, she muttered softly. We were all fooled by him. We thought he was a cute little Shota. We didn't expect him to be a piece of smoked bacon. Han Miao Shuang echoed from the side. This kind of person is very good at pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger. However, once he reaches the point where he has to hide himself, he will be like a dragon emerging from the shallows. He can no longer be trapped. Jiang Junxian said. He is indeed a scheming person. What if he doesn't fulfill the agreement when he becomes the head of the family? Su Xiaoxiao was a little worried. He won't, Sima Yue said confidently. Little junior sister, let me tell you, don't be deceived by a man's appearance. Han Miaoshuang hooked her neck. Look at those who are more handsome, the more evil they are. Really? The first time I saw eldest senior brother, I thought he was so handsome. Sima Yue smiled and glanced at Jiang Junxian. The latter was staring at Han Miaoshuang with narrowed eyes. Han Miaoshuang stretched out her hands and directly covered his eyes, humping. Am I not telling the truth? Do you want me to say that the more handsome a man is, the more reliable he is? If I believed that, would I still follow you? Wouldn't we have to run every time we see them? Jiang Junxian grabbed her hand, then stared at her and said sternly, You dare? So am I right? Han Miaoshuang raised her chin proudly. Yes, you're right, except for me. Everyone. It was Sima Yue's first time seeing Jiang Junxian like this. Sure enough, people's IQ would drop when they were in love. When we find master, we will get married. Jiang Junxian said. When did I agree to marry you? Han Miaoshuang wanted to withdraw her hand, but he held it tightly and she couldn't. Even if you don't agree, you still have to agree. Jiang Junxian's attitude was unyielding. I don't want to. Han Miaoshuang snorted. Sima Yue shook her head as she listened from the side. Who would propose like this? Eldest senior brother is not enlightened in this aspect. I say, if you two want to flirt, can you choose another time and place? She couldn't help but remind them. If this continued, they would be discovered. Only then did Han Miaoshuang remember that it wasn't just the two of them. Her face flushed red. It's all your fault. She glared at Jiang Junxian. Senior sister, there's a good show to watch. Here comes the main event. Sima Yue pulled her sleeve. When Han Miaoshuang heard that there was a good show to watch, it immediately attracted her attention and ignored Jiang Junxian. In the public square, Patriarch Tao stood in front of the patriarch's wife. Because of this, the old ancestor was enraged and removed him from his position, announcing in front of everyone that Tao Yixian would take over. Sima Yue and the others thought that many people would jump out to protest, but for some reason, those old fellows actually agreed. It seemed like they were either threatened by Tao Yixian or recruited by him. As for the other younger ones, although they had objections, the old ancestor and the elders didn't say anything, so how would they dare to stand out? Father. Tao Yixian took 2 steps forward. Mother betrayed the clan and colluded with others, harming the clan's interests. Today we must take her down. You dare? Patriarch Tao shouted. You unfilial son, if you dare to touch a single hair on her head, you'll have to step over my dead body first. Father, she's wronged you. She's not worth your protection. Tao Yixian's face was filled with pain and hatred. No matter what, she's still my wife. Although Patriarch Tao knew that her sins were unforgivable, He still couldn't bear to abandon her. Father, do you really think that she still treats you the same as before? She doesn't even have you in her heart right now. Tao Yixian cried out. What nonsense are you spouting? I only have old master in my heart. The patriarch's wife knew that only by following her husband would they have a way out. So she grabbed his arm tightly and refused to let go. Don't you feel like you're slapping yourself in the face when you say those words? Tao Yixian said. It looks like you won't shed tears until you see the coffin. Bring him in. Go. Let's go. 2 guards brought a man to the plaza. The man lost his balance and fell flat on his face. Seeing the man, Patriarch Tao's face was filled with confusion while his wife was shocked. Why did you bring the godly doctor here? Patriarch Tao asked. Father, do you still remember this godly doctor? Tao Yixian didn't answer but asked instead. Of course I do. He was the one who had cured his body, so how could he not remember? If it wasn't for him, how could his wife have gotten pregnant again? A few months ago, someone saw him being chased by a group of people and saved him. However, they heard something shocking. Tao Yixian said as he looked at him meaningfully. What is it? This matter can't come out of my mouth. Tao Yixian said. It's best if you let the godly doctor say it himself. Tell me, what is it? Patriarch Tao, save me. The godly doctor suddenly cried out. Save you? Who wants your life? Patriarch Tao vaguely sensed something, but he wasn't willing to believe it. It's the patriarch's wife. She sent people to kill me to silence me. The godly doctor cried. I didn't cure your internal injuries at all. She was the one who told me to say that I had already cured you. She was the one who found me and gave me many benefits. That's why I went against my conscience and lied to you. Because I didn't cure you at all, I didn't dare to stay in the Tao family. I didn't think that after leaving the Tao family, I would encounter assassination attempts and almost die a few times. Patriarch Tao was clearly shocked by the godly doctor's words as his expression changed again and again. Godly doctor, you must be mistaken, right? My wife is obviously pregnant. Why didn't you treat my injury? It's true. That wife had long been pregnant with someone else. She just kept you in the dark. The godly doctor said. If you don't believe me, I can swear that everything I said was true. If I really cured you, then I'll go to the infernal hell. After the oath, he was still standing there perfectly fine, which meant that everything he said was true. Then that meant everyone's gazes turned to Patriarch Tao and his wife. Tell me, what's going on here? Patriarch Tao's eyes were bloodshot from the series of blows, and he looked very frightening. Old master. The patriarch's wife was frightened by his appearance, and she subconsciously took 2 steps back. I don't need you to say anything. Swear as well. If the child in your stomach isn't mine, then you'll go to the infernal hell. Patriarch Tao said through gritted teeth. Chapter 1632. Love swear an oath? Did she dare? The answer was obvious. He didn't dare. Master, swear. Say that the child in your stomach is mine. Say that you didn't do anything to let me down. Patriarch Tao roared. I can't. Madam Patriarch shook her head and stepped back. How could the crowd not understand her behavior? The family head's wife had really made the family head a cuckold. Who is the adulterer? I can't say. Madam Patriarch lost her balance, her body leaned back, her center of gravity unstable, and directly fell to the ground. You can't say? Do you want me to guess? Family head Tao's expression became ferocious. He stepped forward, grabbed her neck, and lifted her up. Let go. The madam tried to pry his hand away with both hands, but she couldn't move it at all. I treated you wholeheartedly and neglected my son for hundreds of years. As soon as you said you didn't want to see him, I sent him to the most dangerous place to gain experience, and forbade him from taking a single step into our courtyard. You sent someone to kill him with poison. Knowing that he didn't die, I even went to get the antidote for you and destroyed the evidence. You betrayed the clan, and I was willing to give up my position as the patriarch to protect you. But you made me a cuckold. Tell me, how should I deal with you? No, don't. I was wrong. Cough, cough. Wrong? Do you think you're worthy of me just because you're wrong? We've been childhood sweethearts for so long. How could I not satisfy you? Why would I want you to go out and flirt with other women? Shameless be asterisk teeth. Sima Yue laughed when she heard Tao Yixian's father's words. I've seen shameless people before, but I've never seen someone as shameless as you. A failed man will always put the blame on someone else, and even the things he does become dignified. Junior sister, what do you mean? Han Miaoshuang asked. Although Tao Yixian's father didn't intend to kill Tao Yixian in the beginning, when he found out that Tao Yixian had been poisoned and escaped, not only did no one go to help him, he even went to Old Ji to ask for the antidote. Moreover, he even sent people to kill him, because he felt threatened by Tao Yixian. But now he made it sound so nice. What woman? That was just an excuse. It seems like he doesn't like his wife that much, Sima Yue said sarcastically. This kind of man should be dragged to hell together, Han Miaoshuang said hatefully. Indeed. There's nothing interesting after this. If you guys want to stay here, go ahead. I'm going back to look for an inn. Sima Yue was not interested in what happened after this. She turned around and left. Sima Lu Xian and the others weren't interested in this matter. They just accompanied her to watch it. Now that she was leaving, they naturally had to leave as well. Han Miaoshuang saw that everyone had left. The exciting part of the show in the square was over, and there was nothing more to see, so she left as well. However, Sima Yue said that this was the Tao family after all, so she couldn't be too ostentatious. After keeping them in the spirit pagoda, she went out and found a place where no one was around to let them out. Because of the Tao family assembly, there were more people in the city, so it wasn't that easy to find an inn. It was a good thing that Sima Yue had booked a room at the inn where Guinda and the others were staying. When Guinda and the others came back, it was almost night time. When they saw the people sitting in the living room, they were stunned for a moment. Yue, you're back. He walked over and greeted them with a smile. Yes. Uncle Gua, why did you come back so late? Sima Yue stood up and asked them to sit down. Isn't it because of those things? Guinda sighed as he spoke. I really didn't expect that things would turn out like this after so many twists and turns. Uncle Gua, I heard that the other families went back rather early. Why did you guys come back so late? Han Miaoshuang asked. They left early. We were left behind by the patriarch, the young master. Guinda replied. His voice was light and cheerful. It seemed like it was a good thing that Tao Yixian had left them behind. Sima Yue wasn't surprised. Tao Yixian was in need of people now and his relationship with the Gua family wasn't bad. After the incident at Rabbit Ear Mountain, he knew that the Gua family was on his side. How could he not put them in an important position? Then I have to congratulate you guys. In the future, the Gua family's situation will definitely get better and better, Sima Yue said with a smile. Guinda laughed embarrassedly. Uncle Gua, what happened after that? At that time, we saw the previous family head wearing a green hat. What happened after that? Were they captured? Han Miaoshuang asked nosily. Guinda looked around and confirmed that there was no one around before saying, captured. Of course they captured them. Not only did they capture them, but they also captured the unconscious Second Master Tao. Second Master Tao? Why did they capture him? Of course it's that. You know what I mean? Sima Yue blinked and instantly understood. You're saying that Second Master Tao and his sister-in-law. Han Miaoshuang cried out in shock and quickly covered her mouth. It's good that you guys know about this. Why did you have to say it out loud? Guinda said embarrassedly. Sima Yue smiled. I really didn't expect that even a scum like Second Master Tao would have someone willing to be unfaithful to him. I wonder what Tao Yixian's father's expression will be when he hears about this. But isn't Second Master Tao still unconscious? Did they capture him and lock him up? Not really. They directly told Great Master Ji not to detoxify him. They let him sleep for the rest of his life. Then when Tao Yixian became the patriarch, those people didn't object. With the old ancestor around, who would dare to say anything? Guinda thought about the old ancestor's power, and his eyes filled with admiration. Even so, it's not that easy to completely control the family. I don't know when he'll be able to fulfill his promise, Han Miaoshuang said. Sima Yue didn't know how to guess. When would Tao Yixian be able to control the Tao family? When would he have the ability to do this? With the old ancestor around, it shouldn't take long. Also, he was so smart and scheming. If those people really wanted to fight with him, she really didn't know who would win. Let's wait. Anyway, Master's life jade is still fine. We can afford to wait for a few days, she said. They chatted for a while before everyone went back. Quite a few people from the Guo family came. Aside from the few rooms that Yu Yue and the others took, the rest were all booked by them. Before Guo Yinda left, he said that he was going to prepare for the Tao family's meeting later. He said that it would continue, but it was different from before. This time, the family could send people to participate. As long as they had outstanding talent, they could also be nurtured by the family. Sima Yue thought that this guy really knew how to put up a front. At this time, this was the best way to help him pull people in. Chapter 1633. For the next few days, Tao Yixian didn't come to look for Sima Yue, but he sent someone to tell her that he would be busy these few days, and that he would come to see her when he was done. Sima Yue didn't care about this, saying that she would wait and didn't pay attention to it. Han Miaoshuang and the others went out for a walk these few days, pulling Jiang Junxian and Su Xiaoxiao along, not seeing them for the entire day. They originally wanted to pull Sima Yue along, but she wasn't interested and stayed in her room. After waiting for a few days, Tao Yixian didn't come, but old Ji did. Sima Yue only heard the waiter say that someone was looking for her. At first she thought that it was Tao Yixian, but when she saw that it was Great Master Ji, she was stunned. Old Ji, why are you here? Great Master Ji saw her and said excitedly, That poison, I've researched the antidote. Second Master Tao's poison? Sima Yue asked. Yes. I'll tell you all. Great Master Ji, you haven't answered my question yet. Sima Yue said. What question did you ask? Great Master Ji looked at her blankly, not expecting her to ask anything. I'm asking. How did you know that I live here? Sima Yue repeated. Oh, about that, I asked the Patriarch to look for you. He said that you were here, so I came over. Great Master Ji said. He knows that I know you. However, after being interrupted by Sima Yue, he didn't continue to tell her about the antidote. Let's go, I was just about to brew a pot of tea. It's your favorite Dahong Pao. Sima Yue invited. Really? Then I came at the right time. Go, let's go to your room. Great Master Ji was excited when he heard about Dahong Pao. He drank the Dahong Pao tea she brewed by chance and fell deeply in love with it. However, Sima Yue had only brewed it once or twice in those few days. Although she gave him some for him to brew himself, he couldn't brew it with this taste. Now that he heard that she had Dahong Pao to drink, how could he still remember that he had come to show off to her? Sima Yue brought him to her room. Great Master Ji saw that the prepared tea set was placed on the tatami mat in the room. He was just waiting for the water to boil, so he ran over happily. Sima Yue went to the other side of the short table and started boiling water. Alright, old Ji, you can tell me how you cured the poison now. What kind of herbs are used? Actually, it's nothing much. I just used. Great Master Ji listed a bunch of herbs, but his eyes were fixed on Sima Yue's hand that was picking up the tea. By the way, I might have to leave. Leave? Sima Yue was surprised. Didn't you say you were going to stay in the Tao family? However, Great Master Ji sighed and said, The Tao family has already changed. The future Tao family is no longer suitable for me. Is it because of Tao Yixian? You can say that. He's not what he looks like. He's not simple. Sima Yue could see this as well, so she didn't try to persuade him anymore. Tao Yixian was different from his father. He wouldn't treat someone like Great Master Ji with too much courtesy. He wouldn't provide Great Master Ji with any better conditions, and would think of ways to squeeze out his value. It's good that I'm leaving. The world is big, so I can't be trapped on this island forever. I still have to go out for a walk. Great Master Ji was still very open-minded. If this place didn't want him, there would be other places for him, right? Sima Yue handed him the freshly brewed Dahong Pao. Then when do you plan to leave? Aren't you going to leave once you find him? I'll follow you, Great Master Ji said. I'll go with you. Since he liked interacting with her, he might as well go with her now. Will he agree to let you leave? Sima Yue asked. Naturally, she was referring to Tao Yixuan. What does it matter if he agrees or not? I'm not from the Tao family. If we're talking about who I owe a favor to, it's his father. I won't give him any face. Let me tell you, I've already packed my things and brought them with me. If you agree, I won't be going back today. Sima Yue was speechless as she looked at this guy who acted so quickly. If you leave just like that, what's going to happen to your little disciple? Him? I'll leave him at home. Leave him at home? That's right. I asked him today if he wanted to go out with me or stay at home. He said he wanted to stay at home, so I asked him to stay. Sima Yue finally felt that he was a little strange. When he said he wanted to stay at home, he meant he wanted to guard the house for you. He doesn't know that you don't plan to go back, right? Great Master Ji was stunned. He really didn't tell him anything. You should hurry and bring him out. Sima Yue waved her hand at him in disdain. There's no hurry. I'll go back after I finish drinking. Great Master Ji said. Anyway, I'm not in a hurry. I'll leave today. Sima Yue suddenly sympathized with the little child. To have such an unreliable master, it was similar to how Old Man Devil treated Wu Lingyu. As expected, Old Man Devil left very late that day. After drinking tea, he dragged her to study poisons. When he left, the sky was already dark. Sima Yue sent him off and went to find Guinda to ask if they had any empty rooms. The entire inn was booked by the Guo family, so she had to ask for their permission if she wanted to add more people. She didn't expect that the Guo family had already filled up all the rooms. Guinda got 2 young juniors to share a room and left 1 empty room for her. The next day, Great Master Ji brought the little child over. Seeing that it was just a small room, he didn't mind. On the other hand, the little child frowned in disgust. How can I live in such a small room? He pouted. Guinda was a little embarrassed. The room was indeed small. If you think it's small, you can move out. In such a big city, you'll definitely be able to find a room that suits you. Sima Yue said. I don't want someone who doesn't know how to be grateful to stay with us. If it was someone else who tamed him, the little child would definitely be angry. However, it was her, so he could only lower his head. I didn't say that I don't want to stay. He said in a small voice. Uncle Guo and the others are willing to give their rooms to you. They don't owe you anything. If you don't know how to be grateful, then you don't deserve to be treated well. Do you understand? When she met Little Tu, he wasn't much older than the little child, but he was so obedient and cute. Now that she saw the little child like this, she couldn't help but say a few more words. She remembered that the little child wasn't anyone to her. His master was still here, so she went a little overboard. She apologized to Great Master Ji. Old Ji, I'm sorry. I didn't keep my mouth shut. It's fine. The little child has always been neglected. You didn't even care about him. Sima Yue cursed in her heart, but didn't say it out loud. Just like that, Great Master Ji stayed, and no one from the Tao family came to look for him. His matter passed just like that. Chapter 1634. It wasn't until half a month after that incident that Tao Yixuan finally dragged his exhausted body to the inn. Sima Yue poured him a cup of tea and said, You don't look very well. Drink some tea to wake yourself up. Tao Yixuan did not stand on ceremony as he took the tea and drank it in one gulp. Then he looked at her. She smiled and poured him another cup. If you're like this, I'll think that you won't even have water to drink after becoming the head of the family. She teased. That's about right. Tao Yixuan said. I just wanted to sort things out quickly so I could come and see you. So you're saying that you've already started? Sima Yue thought about the ambiguity in his words and changed the topic. She did not really think that Tao Yixuan was working so hard for her. You can say that. I've already grasped the general direction. Tao Yixuan said. Yue, you're going to tell me the details of the people you're looking for now, right? All right. Sima Yue took out 2 portraits and said. These are my master and teacher. They came to the Lost Lands a few decades ago. In the beginning, there aren't many outsiders on this island. A few decades ago, they weren't that far from here. You should be able to find them. Tao Yixian said. However, it might take some time. Let me know if there's any news. Sima Yue said. All right. However, I won't be staying in Phoenix City for long. If I leave, I think you'll have a way to find me. Sima Yue said. You're leaving? Tao Yixian said a little anxiously. Since your main goal in coming here is to find them, I'll send people to help you find them. You just have to wait here for the results. I can't wait any longer, Sima Yue said. Instead of being anxious here, why don't I go out and search? You said that they're very good at alchemy and medicine? Tao Yixian asked. Yes. What about it? If that's really the case, they might be participating in the Crimson Pearl Convention. Crimson Pearl Convention? What's that? Sima Yue asked. It was a conference about medicinal herbs and alchemy. The people on this island are far too bored. They always like to find something to do and satisfy their vanity at the same time, making it seem as if the people here are more powerful than the outsiders. Tao Yixian said sarcastically. You think that my master and the others will participate in this Crimson Tree meeting? Sima Yue guessed. Since your master and the others are experts in this field, they might participate or have participated in it before. Participated in it before? I'm just guessing. If they had participated in it, they would have left behind some clues, and we might be able to start our investigation from there. Then I'll have to trouble you. Sima Yue said. Where will the Crimson Bamboo meeting be held this year? The Crimson Bamboo meeting is always held in the 4 major cities. This year it's White Tiger City's turn. White Tiger City. Sima Yue remembered that it was not easy to enter the city and said, Is it impossible to enter White Tiger City now? Those with invitations are welcome. Then can you help me get an invitation? Sure. Outsiders were invited by their families to participate in this event. Regardless of their strength or status, they could invite those who were qualified to participate. The Tao family was one of the top families in Vermilion Bird City, so they naturally had this qualification. Thank you, Sima Yue said gratefully. This is what we agreed on, so there's no need to thank me. Tao Yixian said. I need a bit of time, so I'll give it to you tomorrow. There's still some time before the Crimson Pearl meeting, so there's still time. Also, I'll send people over to investigate first. Since there's a starting point, it should be much easier to investigate. Once there's news, I'll let you know. All right. Tao Yixian did not sit for long before leaving. Right now, he had too many things to do. He had to quickly send people to investigate Su Jin and the others, so that he could give her news when she reached White Tiger City. The next day, Tao Yixian did not come, but he sent a guard to deliver an invitation. Sima Yue looked at the vermilion bird drawn on the invitation, and thought of Qi Yan. If they knew that she really had a vermilion bird, what kind of expression would they have? Young Miss Yue, my master has instructed that if you encounter any danger, and it's not convenient for you to come out, you are to release this signal flare into the air. Our people will rush over to save you. The guard took out a signal flare and handed it to Sima Yue. I understand. Sima Yue took the signal flare and said, Goodbye. Sima Yue studied the signal flare in her hand, and knew that he was doing her a favor. He knew that she had so many people, but she might not be able to use them. However, since he was doing her a favor, whether she used it or not was her own business. Since they had already received the invitation, they did not stay here any longer, and went to find Guinda and the others to say goodbye. The other small families had already left, but the Guo family was still busy here. She could already see the signs of their rise. You're leaving already? Guinda did not think that they would leave so soon. He thought that they would stay here to wait for news from Tao Yixian. We're going to participate in the Crimson Pearl Convention, Sima Yue said. Although there's still a bit of time, we want to go to White Tiger City to take a look. That's good too. Then be careful on your way. If you need anything, just contact us. I hope that we'll have a chance to meet again. Guinda smiled. The world is big, we'll meet again. Goodbye. Guainda and the others watched as Sima Yue and the others left. Thinking about what happened after they met her, they felt rather emotional. It's really not bad for people to live like them. Gua Xian was a little envious. With power, you can do whatever you want. Now you know that there's always someone better than you, right? Work hard on your cultivation. Guainda spurred. When have I ever not worked hard? However, I feel that I can't be as carefree and casual as she is. Even when she needs help from others, she can make things better for herself. It's as if no matter how difficult things are, she can easily solve them. Wait for the clan to settle down, then you should go out and take a look. This world is very big. If you stay on this island, you'll be confined. Okay. It was said that White Tiger City's teleportation array was closed. Sima Yue and the others could only leave Vermilion Bird City and call out Chongming to fly towards White Tiger City. Luckily, Vermilion Bird City was in the south of the island and White Tiger City was in the west. The distance was not very far. Even if they rode on flying beasts, it did not take long. Halfway there, Little Lucky and the ancient spirit beast came back together. Why is it only you? Where's Little Roar? He left with Big Sister and said that he'll come back later to find you. I missed you, so I came back. Sima Yue knew that Little Lucky was very clingy to her, and Little Roar loved to play. She did not think much of it and continued on with him. When they arrived at White Tiger City, they saw the towering city walls. On the city walls, there were carvings of white tigers. The carvings were vivid and lifelike, as if a white tiger was standing on the city walls, roaring towards the sky. Sima Yue focused on it and suddenly thought of a question that she had never thought of before. If the vermilion bird was with her, then where were the other three spirit beasts? Chapter 1635. Love, Azure Dragon of the East, White Tiger of the West, Vermilion Bird of the South, and Black Tortoise of the North. The four divine beasts used to be the guardian beasts of the continent, maintaining the balance of the world. The Vermilion Bird was with her, but where were the remaining Azure Dragon, White Tiger and Black Tortoise? Also, why was Crimson Flame injured? When he met it, the egg was already dead. How many years had it been waiting there? Crimson Flame had never told him about this, and he had never thought about it. Now that he saw the White Tiger, he began to think about this problem. Crimson Flame was still hiding a lot of things from her. She decided that when she had time, she must ask Qian clearly. However, she did not expect that before she could ask, someone else would come knocking on her door and drag her into another storm. Feng Zhixing and the others saw her staring blankly at the White Tiger statue. They knew that she must be thinking about something, so they didn't say anything and waited for her to come back to her senses. The guards of the city weren't happy with them standing there. Hey, are you guys going into the city? You can't enter White Tiger City now, so go somewhere else. These people were obviously outsiders. Outsiders without invitations were not allowed to enter. These people had been standing here for so long, they definitely did not have invitations. Sima Yue retracted her gaze from the White Tiger statue, walked to the guard and took out her invitation card. You have an invitation? The guard was a little surprised, but he still took the invitation and looked at it. Vermilion Bird City's Tao family? I've never heard of them inviting anyone. Sima Yue did not say anything. There was no need to answer such a question. As expected, after the guard confirmed the authenticity of the invitation, he returned it to her and said, Since you are here to participate in the Crimson Pearl Convention, you may enter. Sima Yue smiled at him and thanked him. Then she led the others in. The guards of White Tiger City are pretty good. This means that the people in White Tiger City are not bad, Su Xiao said. When we went out for a stroll, we heard that the Vermilion Bird City and White Tiger City's relationship was rather hostile. We were recommended by the Vermilion Bird City, and they didn't make things difficult for us. Han Miaoshuang said. There's such a thing. Yes. Anyway, there are some powers in Vermilion Bird City that don't have good family values, so I think they might have done something annoying. We were only invited to participate in the competition. Of course, they wouldn't make things difficult for us. Sima Yue said, but this White Tiger City is really fair. Almost all the houses here were built with white stones. Occasionally, they would be decorated with other colors, but they were very rare. Let's find a place to stay, Huang Yingying said. However, they wandered around for a whole day, from morning to night, but they did not find a single vacant inn. In addition to outsiders, people from other places also came here, so the inns were all full. Although some inns were not full, the entire inn had been booked, so they could not stay there. Let's ask this one again. If it doesn't work, we can only sleep on the streets, Han Miaoshuang said dejectedly. Let's give it a try. There must be a way. Sima Yue did not expect the inn to be so popular. They entered the inn and saw the shopkeeper behind the counter. Before they could speak, they heard the shopkeeper say, "I'm sorry, dear guests. Our inn has been booked." Booked again? This result was not unexpected. Sigh, looks like we really have to sleep on the streets today. Sleeping on the streets, this is the first time in my life. These people could be considered to have lived a life of luxury. Now that they were sleeping on the streets, the image did not look good. Don't you have any more rooms? A clear voice came from the side. Everyone looked up and saw a lady in a light yellow dress walking down the stairs. The shopkeeper saw the lady and bowed. "Miss Xue Wu, why did you come down?" "I'm missing a medicinal ingredient, so I want to take a look at the medicinal ingredient store," Mo Xue Wu replied, then looked at Han Miaoshuang and said, "You said you were going to sleep on the streets. We've been looking for an inn for a whole day. If it's not full, it's booked." Han Miaoshuang shrugged helplessly. "This happens every time the Crimson Pearl Convention. Didn't you book an inn in advance?" Mo Xue Wu felt that she was being rude after speaking. "Sorry, I didn't notice that you were outsiders. Did you just come to the island?" "Yes. No wonder you're not familiar with this." Mo Xue Wu smiled. "At this time, I'm afraid there aren't any more inns in the entire White Tiger City." Sima Yue and the others looked at each other. As expected, this was the result. "How about this shopkeeper? We seem to have a few rooms left. Let them stay," Mo Xue Wu said. "As long as Miss Xue Wu agrees, then there's no problem. However, there aren't enough rooms. You may have to squeeze in. Some people want 2 people to a room," the shopkeeper said. "That's no problem. Compared to sleeping on the streets, this is nothing," Su Xiao said. "Then we'll have to thank Miss Xue Wu. They were really grateful to this lady. I'm called Mo Xue Wu. You can call me Xue Wu." Mo Xue Wu smiled. "You can stay first. Since you're all here to participate in the Crimson Pearl Convention, I'll definitely look for you to discuss later. I'm going to buy a medicinal ingredient, so I'll leave first." After speaking, she smiled at everyone and walked past them out of the inn. "Shopkeeper, who was that young lady just now? She's so nice," Han Miaoshuang asked. "That's Azure Dragon City's Mo clan's eldest Miss Mo Xue Wu." The Mo clan is a kind-hearted clan. Aaron was booked by the Mo clan. The shopkeeper said, "Now that Miss Xue Wu has agreed, follow me. I'll arrange rooms for you." A kind-hearted clan? The shopkeeper's choice of words was a little subtle. However, this Mo Xue Wu is really kind-hearted. The rest of the Mo clan are staying upstairs. Now there are only a few rooms left. The shopkeeper said, "The lighting in these rooms isn't good and they're smaller. That's why they're empty. However, they're still very clean. As long as they're clean, everything else isn't important," Huang Yingying said. Because there weren't enough rooms, in the end, Grandpa and Grandma shared a room, Master and Father shared a room, Su Xiao and Jiang Junxian shared a room, Sima Yue and Han Miaoshuang shared a room, and Great Master Ji and Little Doll shared a room. Not long after they settled in, there was a commotion outside. When they looked out of the window, they realized that the other young masters of the Mo clan had returned. The shopkeeper told them about the strangers that Mo Xue Wu had left behind. Those young masters only furrowed their brows slightly, but didn't say anything. They didn't chase them away. Looks like the shopkeeper was right. The people of the Mo clan are kind-hearted, Han Miaoshuang said as she closed the window. "With absolute power, we're not afraid of encountering thieves," Sima Yue said with a smile. Chapter 1636. Yes. Han Miaoshuang thought about it and agreed. If they didn't have power and did good things casually, they might bring disaster to themselves. However, if they had power, even if they accidentally met someone bad, it wouldn't bring any danger. The other members of the Mo family didn't say anything when they heard this. When we meet them, we have to thank them, Sima Yue said. Although it wasn't that they couldn't stay in the inn, they could stay in the little realm if they couldn't find a place. However, they were kind enough to let them stay here. They should still thank them. Sima Luxian and the others knew more about this, so they went to thank the Mo family when they heard the commotion. After Sima Yue knew that they went, she didn't bother about this matter. There were 2 generations of people above her, so it wasn't her turn to deal with this matter. However, although they asked them to stay, the other party didn't pay much attention to them. After that, everyone did what they were supposed to do. Sima Yue didn't even see the Mo family's young master. However, during this period of time, Sima Yue figured out the Crimson Pearl Convention. The Crimson Pearl Convention was divided into 3 parts. One was the alchemy competition, one was medical skills, and the last one was poison skills. Sima Yue didn't expect them to include poison skills. She didn't look at it differently like the people outside. There was still more than a month before the convention began, so Sima Yue wasn't anxious. She wandered outside with Han Miaoshuang and the others all day long, wanting to see if she could find any news about Su Jin and the others. She originally thought that the previous 2 Crimson Pearl conventions weren't held here, so she might not get any news about Su Jin. She didn't expect it to give her such a surprise. Do you know Su Jin and Gulang? The 2 people who got first place in the Crimson Pearl Convention in Black Tortoise. How could I not know? I heard that the 2 of them are very powerful. They even beat the people on our island. This kind of hothead. How can they win in this kind of place? In the end, they offended the Wu family for nothing. The Wu family originally thought that they would get first place, but they didn't expect them to get it in the end. 2 outsiders, TSK. No way? It was said that the Wu clan had sought them out and wanted them to stay as guest elders, but in the end, didn't they refuse and leave? It seems that the Wu family didn't do anything to them. He really left? Could it be a smokescreen? Could he have gone to the Black Tortoise's Hao family? Why do you say that? I heard that the Hao clan's alchemy and medical skills have improved a lot over the years. It's quite the style of those 2. It can't be? The Hao family was the largest family in Black Tortoise City. Why would they invite 2 outsiders? Besides, if that's the case, why hasn't anyone else heard anything about it? That's true. In the private room, Sima Yue and the other 3 looked at each other and memorized the names of the Wu family and the Hao family. As for the people outside, they no longer talked about Su Jin and the others, but instead talked about other matters related to the Crimson Pearl Convention. Sima Yue and the others stayed in the tea house until the people outside left. They didn't get any useful information, so they had to go back. That night, Sima Yue also received a message from Tao Yixian. Sima Yue felt that there was movement outside her room and chased after it. After a few turns, she finally saw a person who was completely covered in night clothes. Young Miss Yue. The person cupped his hands towards Sima Yue. You're one of Tao Yixian's people? She asked. Yes. Young master sent me to deliver something to young Miss Yue. The black-clothed person replied. Deliver what? The black-clothed person didn't reply, but took out a letter and threw it at her. Sima Yue caught it, but the person took the chance to slip away. Before he left, he reminded her to be careful of a tail. Sima Yue was startled. She was sure that there was no one following her on the way here. How could there be a tail? However, when she turned around, she did see a young master dressed in white in the distance. Sima Yue knew this person. He was a young master of the Mo family. Both parties' eyes met, but there was no awkwardness at all. Sima Yue walked over and bowed to the young master of the Mo family, saying, Young Master Mo, why have you come? I heard some movement and thought that something had happened, so I came over to take a look. Young Master Mo said. Young Miss Sima has a good relationship with the Tao family? Sima Yue knew why he would ask this. It was probably because they were left behind by the young miss of the Mo family. He was afraid that they would use Mo Shuewu's kindness to harm them. It was said that the young master of the Han family doted on her. Initially, she disdained to explain herself, but she didn't know why, but she thought of Sima Yuming and the others. They doted on her in every possible way. She threw the letter in her hand over. The letter hadn't been opened yet, so Sima Yue hadn't read it yet. Young Master Mo hesitated for a moment, but he still opened it. After he finished reading it, he handed the letter back apologetically. The letter described everything that Tao Yixian had found out about Su Jin and the others. There wasn't anything else that he had guessed. "I'm so sorry." He apologized for reading her letter, as well as for his suspicions towards her. Sima Yue took the letter. She wasn't angry and smiled. "Young Miss Shuewu has a few good brothers. I have a few good brothers as well, so I can understand young Master Mo's feelings and thoughts." When she said this, the relationship between the two of them became much closer. They agreed to go back together. "You came to the Lost Island to look for master and teacher?" Mo Shueyang asked. "That's right." Sima Yue nodded. They took first place in the Crimson Pearl Convention for Alchemy and Medicine. Does young Master Mo know about them? Su Jin and Gulang? Mo Shueyang was a little surprised. The letter just now only mentioned your master and teacher, so it didn't mention their names. "That's right. You know about them as well?" Sima Yue looked at him with hope in her eyes. If he knew anything, he might be able to give her some clues. However, he shook his head. "I didn't participate the last time. I only heard of their names." "I see." Sima Yue felt a little disappointed. It seemed like she had to start investigating from the news that she got today. "However, I saw that the letter mentioned the Hao clan. If you meet them one day, you must be careful," Mo Shueyang said. "Why?" "The Hao clan is the biggest clan in Black Tortoise City, but their way of doing things is not flattering. They are very strong, so you should be careful," Mo Shueyang reminded her. "I know. Thank you for your reminder. If we really meet, I will be careful." Sima Yue nodded. They returned to the inn together, and happened to meet Sima Lu Xian, and the others who were preparing to look for them. "Yue, are you okay?" Although Sima Lu Xian was asking Sima Yue, his eyes were looking at Mo Shueyang. Chapter 1637. Love. If Sima Yue said that she was bullied, he would definitely teach that person a lesson. "Dad, I'm fine. I just went out for a while and happened to run into young Master Mo on my way back, so we came back together," Sima Yue said. "Really?" Feng Zhixing also looked doubtful. "All right, what are you guys doing?" "Father, Master, I have something to tell you. Let's go back to our room first." After Sima Yue finished speaking, she nodded apologetically at Mo Shueyang and pulled them away. Seeing her like this, Mo Shueyang smiled. This appearance was really similar to Shuewu in front of them. It seemed that she was also someone who was doted on by everyone. Only such a person would act coquettishly in front of her elders, and have such a happy smile on her face. Sima Yue pulled the two of them back to the room, and called the others over as well. Then, she took out the letter that Tao Yixian had given her, and showed it to everyone. The letter said that Su Jin and the others obtained first place back then, and were invited to the Wu family as guests. However, on that day they had truly left. However, they had disappeared without a trace. Tao Yixian guessed that it was very likely that the Hao family had taken a fancy to them, and had captured them to be imprisoned. If it's true, then the Hao clan is going too far. Thinking about how people like Su Jin and the others were imprisoned by a force and could only move around in a very small place, Han Miao Shuang and the others were furious. Sima Yue looked at the letter, and felt that something was wrong. She took out a basin and poured water into it. Soon, a page appeared on the back of the letter. The Hao family has strong roots and is ruthless in their actions. In the past, they have imprisoned many people. Therefore, your master and the others are most likely imprisoned. What the Hao clan did was dishonorable, so once they were imprisoned, it was impossible for them to come out on their own. If he wanted to save them, he would have to go deep inside to rescue them. Also, I found out where they're keeping those people captive. Behind it were some simple maps. In that case, we have to think of a way to enter the Hao family. If Master and the rest are really trapped inside, we can only break through from the inside. Sima Yue said. However, it won't be easy to enter the Hao clan. Otherwise, Tao Yixian wouldn't have reminded us that it was us. Huang Yingying said. It's actually very easy, Sima Yue said. What do you mean? Just as Han Miao Shuang asked, she suddenly thought of something and her eyes widened. You want to use the same method to enter? It says that the Hao family is very interested in those geniuses. If we can attract their attention, it will naturally be easy, Sima Yue said. So no matter who it is, someone has to get first place in this competition. You don't have to worry about that. I know your medical skills. Who can compare to you? You can definitely get first place. As for alchemy, we will do our best. If you can get first place, we can help you when we go in. If we can't get it, we'll go to the Spirit Pagoda with you, Jiang Junxian said. Yes. Let's do it. Sima Yue nodded. For the rest of the time, they did not go out again, and continued to study the Crimson Pearl Association. Later on, Tao Yixian sent another message. He was more certain and more detailed than the last time. After Sima Yue saw the message, she silently stared at the tea on the table for a long time. A few days later, the Crimson Pearl Association officially began. Sima Yue and the Mo family went to the competition venue. She never thought that she would actually see a familiar face here. When Eastern Lily saw Sima Yue, she was first stunned, then her eyes were filled with uncontrollable hatred and killing intent. She wanted to kill her. Sima Yue did not know what this young miss went through, to the point that she did not even bother to hide the killing intent in her eyes. Could it be that she forgot that she was the one who saved her from Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior? She sighed in her heart. Back then, she knew that she saved an ingrate. Now that she thought about it, she was right. And beside her was another person she did not want to see. Northern Du Hao. When Northern Du Hao saw Xiaoxi, who was hanging on Sima Yue, his eyes narrowed. His gaze was complicated. That day, he had almost died at the hands of Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior. If he had not taken advantage of the time when Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior was distracted and used a secret technique to tear open space and bring him away, he would not have the chance to stand here and look at this fellow who looked exactly like Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior. When Sima Yue saw the two of them whispering to each other, she was a little surprised. Why were the two of them together? Weren't the two of them on bad terms? Could it be that something big had happened in this short period of time? She did not seem to have heard any news. What she did not know was that although it was a small matter in her eyes, it was a big matter in the eyes of others. Of course, if she knew that Eastern Lily had been rejected by Xian Qiuhe when she confessed to him, and that Eastern Lily had guessed that the person he liked was her, she would only laugh. Some people, even if they did not do anything, their existence would be an eyesore to others. I heard that the two of them are already engaged. Northern Du clan and Eastern Lai clan are finally connected by marriage, Mo Shuewu said when she saw her sizing up the two of them. Engaged? When Sima Yue heard this news, she was even more surprised. Didn't Eastern Lily like Xian Qiuhe to no end? Why would she be engaged to Northern Du Hao? That's right. Mo Shuewu nodded. She looked at Eastern Lily with disdain. Let me tell you, the people from the hidden clans are not good people. That girl said that she liked Xian Qiuhe, but Xian Qiuhe rejected her. In a blink of an eye, she went into the arms of another man. Rejected? When did this happen? Not long ago. Mo Shuewu said. Why do you know them? I guess so. Then you have to be careful. I see that the way they look at you is not right. Mo Shuewu reminded her softly. Little junior sister, I told you. This kind of person should not be saved. You saved her, but she still wants to kill you. Why did you save her? Han Miao Shuang hated Eastern Lily. Mo Shuewu looked at Sima Yue in surprise. You saved her before? Initially, I didn't want to save her, but on account of Xian Qiuhe, I took her with me. After Sima Yue finished speaking, she briefly explained what happened in the ancient mines. TSK, even like this girl still wants to kill you. She really is. Mo Shuewu shook her head. She did not have a good impression of Eastern Lai Li. You know those hidden clans? This time, it was Sima Yoyue's turn to ask her. The hidden clans have always been in contact with the Lost Lands, so I know them. But I never liked this girl. I didn't expect her to be such a person who bites the hand that feeds her. Mo Shuewu looked down on Eastern Lai Li even more. Chapter 1638. Love, Sima Yue and Mo Shuewu chatted for a while before shifting their attention. Although they knew each other, there was no need to waste time on them. However, she still had some thoughts in her heart. She even released a few scarlet bees to follow them carefully. After all, the killing intent in her eyes was so obvious. What a narrow-minded woman. Alas, it's really only vile people and women that are hard to deal with. It was only when they entered the venue that Sima Yue realized that other than the Northern Du clan and the Eastern Lai clan, the other hidden clans had also come. It seemed like only the Xianqiu clan did not send anyone over. Sima Yue had mixed feelings when she thought about the Xianqiu family. She didn't know if Xianqiu he was punished by the clan. After that incident, she was afraid that the next time they met, they wouldn't be able to be as carefree as now. Sai, let's go in. The competition is about to start. Mo Shuewu urged. The three arenas were not in the same place, so Sima Yue and Jiang Junxian separated. They went to participate in the alchemy competition, and she came to participate in the medical competition. Mo Shuewu was also participating in the medical competition. The two of them entered the venue together. Yue, they'll be bringing some patients out in a while. Almost all of them have incurable diseases. When the time comes, everyone will be given 10 patients. We'll see who can finish the treatment faster or who can treat the most patients. 10 difficult and complicated diseases. This was considered fair. It was impossible for someone to be so lucky as to draw 10 handy items. Of course, it was impossible for them to keep treating the patient, so there was a time limit of 10 days. During these 10 days, they had to stay here with the patient. Or if all 10 of them were cured, they could also leave early. Sima Yue and Mo Shuewu went to the registration area together. The registration was already done there. Seeing them go over, she told them to wait at the side. When everyone arrived, she took out a bamboo tube for everyone to draw lots. There was a corresponding number on the stick. Every doctor took the stick and went to the place where the patient was picked up. Those patients had already been divided into groups. Then the supervisor took the doctor's lot and looked at the numbers on it. He assigned the corresponding patients to them and asked them to bring them to the prepared rooms. Sima Yue drew number 14, while Mo Shuewu drew number 49. The two of them were rather far apart from each other, because the rooms they were going to see the patients were also corresponding to this room. Yue, I know you're amazing. They didn't have a chance to spar before, so this could be considered an opportunity to compete. Good luck. Good luck to you too. Sima Yue brought the patient with number 14 to room 14. These rooms were all temporarily set up. There were no doors, so the people outside could see the situation inside like the back of their hand. Sima Yue asked each of them to choose a bed to lie down on. She did not start the treatment immediately. Instead, she took out their medical records and started to study them. Out of the 10 of them, every single one of them was really difficult to treat. She had never even come into contact with 2 of them before. However, she wasn't worried. The situation of these 10 people wasn't difficult for her. Even if she hadn't come into contact with the 2 people, she still had some theoretical knowledge. Sima Yue roughly checked the pulses of the 10 people first, and compared them with the medical records in her hands. She confirmed that every patient's situation was as described on the medical records. Unlike her, the other doctors did not look at all the medical records together. Instead, they chose one and studied the medical records, checked the pulse, treated the patient, and prescribed medicine. After treating the patient, they would then move on to the next patient. The previous patients were also like this. Therefore, Sima Yue treating 10 people at the same time was an anomaly in everyone's eyes. Some people began to whisper, saying that she was trying to impress the crowd. Some people thought of another person through her. The first place in the previous batch also treated 10 people at the same time. However, in the end, there were still some people who were a little lacking and did not completely meet the requirements. There was one thing that was similar to the previous time. That was, both of them were outsiders. Previously, everyone thought that the person called Gulang was too arrogant in the beginning. However, when the results were revealed later, they realized that he really had the ability. Now this outsider chose to use the same method as him. However, they did not know if she could achieve the same results. Mo Shiwawu heard the discussions outside, and knew that a very powerful person had appeared this time. However, she did not know who it was. She immediately thought of Sima Yue. However, she shook her head. She knew Sima Yue's age. She was not even 100 years old. How could she be the genius that those people were talking about? Thinking of this, she stopped paying attention to the situation outside, and focused on treating the patients in front of her. It had to be said that Mo Shiwawu was really a kind person. Normally, when a young lady from a big family saw these patients, she would have already vomited her New Year's dinner. However, not only did she not vomit, she even sympathized with them. The wounds were already infected with maggots. These people must be in so much pain. Otherwise, these people's internal organs would be injured. How tragic. Her sympathy flowed out as if it was free. She tried her best to be gentle when treating their wounds. However, Sima Yue was different. In order to obtain the first place, she had to be the first to treat these people to the standard. Because some diseases required a long time to be treated, 10 days was not enough. Therefore, there was a standard. As long as these people could be treated to the standard, they would pass. Therefore, she had to make the best use of her time. Therefore, she was not gentle when treating these people. However, she had already numbed them before the treatment, so they did not feel any pain. Every group of patients had different types of external and internal injuries. This was for the sake of fairness. Sima Yue quickly treated the 2 people with external injuries. She even gave them the pills that she had refined. Then she let them rest at the side. In the end, these people's conditions were completely healed. This made everyone present exclaim in admiration. Of course, this was a story for later. After treating the external injuries, Sima Yue began to treat the other patients. These patients' conditions were more complicated. However, with the help of her silver needles and pills, they were more or less healed. By the time the last patient was cured, only 6 days had passed. She pulled the bell at the door, indicating that her treatment was finished. The judges could come and check her results. The judges were a little surprised. They had been judges for so many years, but it was their first time seeing someone finish the treatment on the 6th day. All the judges were curious. They wanted to see who could finish the treatment in such a short time. Therefore, Sima Yue's judges were the most complete in this competition. Sima Yue stood at the door. When the judges saw how young she was, they were all stunned. Are you the doctor in this room? Chapter 1639. Love. Sima Yue bowed to the judges and said, Yes. You've cured all of them? Yes. Judges, please judge. Sima Yue retreated to the side after speaking. The first step was to verify the identities of these 10 people, in order to prevent them from being swapped out. Soon they passed this test. These 10 people were indeed the 10 patients from before. Actually, this step was completely unnecessary. None of the rooms had doors, so the people outside could clearly see what was going on inside. Moreover, there was a person from the organizer guarding outside each room. You want to switch people? Not to mention the door. There wasn't even a window. After confirming the identities of the 10 people, they looked at the medical records of the 10 people. If they hadn't confirmed the identities of these people, they wouldn't have believed that these 10 people were terminally ill a few days ago. When the patients came out of the room one by one, the people outside would also read out their previous symptoms. When the onlookers saw the comparison, they immediately felt that the person inside was really a genius doctor. There were 10 patients, and the judges soon came up with the results of Sima Yue. Every patient had completed the treatment with high quality in such a short time. If she didn't get first place, the others could forget about getting first place. After Sima Yue was done, she did not leave. Instead, She sat down in the resting area and seemed to be waiting for someone. Her actions also let those people know that she was the godly doctor who had completed the test first. She sat in the resting area and leisurely made herself a pot of tea. She wondered if there were any members of the Hao family looking at her. Not to mention the Hao clan. A few other clans had also begun to extend olive branches to her. Many of them had sent her invitations, wanting to invite her to their residences as a guest after the Crimson Pearl Convention. Sima Yue looked at the pile of invitations and smiled. She picked out 2 of them and put them aside without saying anything. When Mo Shuewu came out 2 days later, her invitation card was already half the height of a person. When Mo Shuewu saw Sima Yue, who was resting, she froze for a moment before walking over with a smile. I thought I would be able to get first place if I came out early. In that case, the person who was rumored to be a god by the people outside is you. Mo Shuewu smiled and said, Why are you still here? Didn't we agree that whoever came out first would wait for the other to leave together? How can I go back on my word? Sima Yue kept the invitations into her space ring. Mo Shuewu recalled their previous conversation. They had indeed agreed to leave together. However, she thought that she would wait for her when she came out, but she didn't expect that she would come out first. Let's go. Let's go back to the inn. I think the news of you being a genius doctor must have spread outside. Mo Shuewu pulled her away from the doctor's passage. However, when they reached the exit, Sima Yue pulled Mo Shuewu back. We can't go out like this. She met Mo Shuewu's puzzled gaze and smiled. Listen. When Mo Shuewu heard this, she heard the clamor outside. Needless to say, there were definitely a lot of people guarding her outside. If she swaggered out like this, she would definitely be stopped. Then what should we do? Mo Shuewu gave her a helpless expression. Sima Yue grabbed her hand and smiled mysteriously at her. Then she took her and disappeared from the passage. When the people who were chasing after them rushed over, they saw the 2 of them disappear. When Mo Shuewu returned to the inn, she still felt that it was a little unreal. She didn't seem to have felt the fluctuation of space just now. She looked at Sima Yue in shock, secretly thinking how powerful her space ability was. Sima Yue let go of her hand and smiled. It's much quieter now. However, they should be waiting for us outside the venue. Mo Shuewu said. Sima Yue remembered that the time for alchemy and poison skills was not as long as the medical skills, so they had already come out. They were just waiting for the medical skills to end, and this Crimson Pearl convention would come to an end. Thus, she took out the Mother Stone and contacted Sima Luxian and the others, telling them that she had already returned to the inn. Father and Master had indeed gone to the venue. When they found out that she had already returned, they immediately returned to the inn. Mo Shuewu had already gone upstairs to talk to Mo Shueyang and the others about the convention. When they talked about Sima Yue's miraculous medical skills, they were full of admiration, especially when they talked about the space ability she used to bring her back. Her eyes and words were filled with envy. Mo Shueyang smiled faintly. I didn't expect that Miss Sima to be so powerful despite looking so young. I really didn't expect it. Mo Shuewu replied. Although Mo Shueyang was chatting with his sister, his thoughts had drifted away. He knew what Sima Yue wanted to do. He had also seen the Hao clan from Tao Yixian's letter. Later on, he had sent people to investigate the matter of the previous champion. From the information he had gathered, he guessed that Su Jin and the others were most likely imprisoned in the Hao clan. Generally speaking, outsiders wouldn't fight for first place in the Crimson Pearl Convention, because it would embarrass the people on the island. But this time and the previous time were a little special. He couldn't guess why Su Jin and the others got first place, but he could guess what Sima Yue's goal was. She definitely wanted to enter the Hao clan. But was it so easy to enter the Hao clan? If she wasn't careful, even he would be trapped inside. However, she had no choice but to do this. However, from this period of contact, he realized that Sima Yue was an extremely confident person. She definitely wouldn't do anything dangerous to put herself in a desperate situation. He was a little curious about her trump card. What made her so confident that she could leave the Hao clan safely? Thinking of this, His interest in Sima Yue was much stronger than he thought. After Sima Lu Xian and the others returned to the inn, they went straight to Sima Yue's room and told her some of the rumors that were circulating outside. Jiang Junxian and the others didn't get first place in the alchemy competition, so they could only wait together in their spirit bodies. But what surprised her was that Eastern Lily was first in the alchemy competition, and Northern Du Hao was first in the poison technique. Sima Yue knew that Eastern Lily was very good at alchemy, so she wasn't surprised that she got first place. What surprised her was that Northern Du Hao was actually a poison expert. What she couldn't understand was how both of them got first place this time. It was said that the Hidden Clan had never won in this kind of situation before. The people who were nurtured by the Hidden Clan were naturally not weak. They had never gotten first place before, so why did they change their style this time? She believed that this wasn't a coincidence. Junior sister, when we were refining pills, we realized that someone's alchemy method was taught by Master. Su Xiao said. Sima Yue was stunned and asked, "Is it someone from the Hao clan?" Chapter 1640. Love, he actually had the same method of refining pills as them. Didn't that mean that this person might have been taught by Su Jin? Unexpectedly, Jiang Junxian shook his head. No, Sima Yue was shocked. Then who is it? He's an outsider like us. But it seems like he has an invitation from the Hao family. Sima Yue sat at the table with her left hand supporting her chin while her right hand tapped on the table. Outsiders. She muttered. Will there be any rewards for winning a prize at your alchemy side? Of course. You doctors have it too. Han Miaoshuang said. Don't tell me you don't even know about this? Of course I know there are, but I'm only aiming for first place. I don't know what the rewards are. Sima Yue said. Also what I'm asking is, do you guys have any special rewards for refining pills? Nothing special. Han Miaoshuang thought for a moment. Those are very normal here, but to outsiders they might be special. I'm guessing that the Hao family is using these people as shields. Sima Yue said. Now that the arrow is knocked, I'll go to the Hao clan to take a look. If not, we'll continue to investigate. That's all we can do now. That's right, pay attention to the movements of the Eastern Lai clan and the Northern Du clan. I have a feeling that something is wrong with them, Sima Yue said. Something is wrong? Yes. Sima Yue nodded. In the past, the hidden tribes had always kept a low profile in the Lost Lands. However, they have become high profile now. Moreover, don't you find it strange that Eastern Lai Li and Northern Du Hao are together? The first time might be a coincidence, but the second time might be different. No matter what they want to do, as long as it doesn't involve us, we don't have to care, Feng Zhixing said. I'm just afraid that we will be implicated. Sima Yue sighed. It should be said that her intuition told her that it was very likely to involve her. Why? We met Eastern Lai Li and Northern Du Hao today. Both of them looked at junior sister with killing intent. Han Miaoshuang said. They want to kill you? Feng Zhixing's face was extremely dark. If I had known earlier, I would have asked Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior to kill her in the ancient mine. What? My father didn't kill that scum? Xiaoxi crawled out from behind Sima Yue. Why would my father do something so unreliable? Everyone. Sima Yue patted Xiaoxi's head and said, It's not that your father didn't kill him. I saved him from his hands. Xiaoxi stretched out his long arm and placed it on her forehead. Yu, was your brain damaged at that time? Ha ha. Everyone laughed. This little guy really knew how to add insult to injury. Sima Yue explained the situation and thought that Xiaoxi would understand. Unexpectedly, Xiaoxi nodded heavily and said, Looks like your brain wasn't damaged at that time. You must have had a stroke. Sima Yue. Although you shouldn't have, you've been saved now. Feng Zhixing said. If they dare to do anything to you, even if they're from the hidden clans, we won't let them off. I think so too. If they don't do anything, we won't care. But if they dare to do anything, we'll make sure they won't be able to return. Everyone has to be careful these few days. If you want to go out, you must go out together. Don't go out alone. Also, once you meet them, no matter if they do anything, you must inform the others. Sima Yue reminded. We'll be careful about the hidden clans. But junior sister, when are you going to the Hao clan? Han Miao Shuang asked. The Hao clan's invitation has already been sent over. But I can't go openly. I'll leave them out for a few days first. Those who rushed over were not attractive. If they agreed from the start, would they still be imprisoned? Sima Yue chose a few big forces. In the next few days, she began to visit them one by one. Those people did not look down on her, because she was an outsider. On the contrary, almost all the clans threw her an olive branch, hoping that she could stay in their clan. They would teach her how to cultivate here, and provide her with abundant resources. However, she rejected all of them. The reason was that her clan was outside. She would not stay on the island. When she came out of the inn, she realized that someone was following her. The corner of her mouth curled up. The Hao clan couldn't hold back so quickly. For the sake of convenience, she turned into a small alley, and was waiting for someone to make a move. She didn't expect that when she turned around, what she saw was not an attack, but a little white ball that was flying towards her. Just when it was less than a meter away from her, she stretched out her hand and caught it firmly. She gritted her teeth and said, "You still know to come back?" Little Roar was held by the neck by her. Its 4 short limbs were flailing in the air. Its 2 eyeballs rolled around and squeezed out 2 drops of tears. It said pitifully, "You, I missed you so much. When I saw you, I immediately ran over." Sima Yue would be a fool if she believed him. She poked him with her other hand. "You missed me? I think you're too happy to think about home." "I didn't. I missed you." He wanted to use his little claws to pat his chest to assure her. However, his claws were too short and his posture was wrong. He couldn't pat it at all. "Really?" Sima Yue looked at him faintly. "It's true. It's truer than real gold." Little Roar tried his best to make himself look like that. He would never admit that during this period of time, he had been eating and drinking well with the witch. Every day was very comfortable. "Are you sure you're not here to be someone's lobbyist?" "Lobbyist? What lobbyist?" Little Roar looked up at the sky with a confused expression. Sima Yue had already seen through his little thoughts. Since he didn't want to admit it, she casually threw him away, almost throwing him into the rubbish pile at the corner. "Ah! You almost threw me into the rubbish pile." Little Roar protested. Sima Yue ignored him and looked at the person at the entrance of the alley saying, "Speak. What do you want to do after following me the whole way?" That person had not said a word since she met Little Roar. Seeing that she was paying attention to him, he said, "My master invites you." "Who's your master? I've been seeing a lot of people recently, but I don't remember your master's name." You, that person." Little Roar wanted to say that she knew that person, but she glared at him. The black-clothed man was already used to Little Roar's behavior. His expression didn't change at all. He respectfully said, "Miss Yue, my master said that he won't charge you for the next trip." Sima Yue pursed her lips. She knew who he was talking about. Other than the person who cheated her of a lot of money, who else could it be? "Lead the way in front." She nodded at the person. That person turned around and left. Little Roar wanted to come over, but she grabbed him and threw him back. He almost fell into the rubbish pile again. Chapter 1641. Love. Sima Yue followed the man into a tea house, which was not far from here. No wonder Little Roar said that he would look for her the moment he saw her, but she did not feel his presence on the road. The entire tea house was empty. Other than a few guards at the door, there weren't many people protecting it. She followed the man to a private room on the 3rd floor and heard him say to the person inside, "Master, I've brought you Yue. Come in." It was a familiar voice, but it carried a different kind of laziness. Sima Yue pushed the door open. When she saw the 2 people inside, she was stunned. She wasn't surprised by Helmsman Tua, but she was surprised that Miko-sama was also quietly drinking tea. When Little Roar saw which, he flew out of the door and landed beside the pastries in front of her. "What are you standing there for?" Weren't you the one who told Little Roar and the others to coax her to come out and walk around, so that she wouldn't interfere with the Tao family's matters? Tua Xiaogong indifferently said. At this time, Miko-sama also raised her head and looked at her, but there was no blame in her eyes. She smiled and walked over to sit opposite them. When she saw Little Roar, she had already guessed that the witch was here. What she was surprised about was that the witch, with her otherworldly appearance, was actually sitting quietly in this downtown area drinking tea. Shouldn't she only eat the wind and rain? She didn't know how Tua Xiaogong knew about the Tao family, but judging from his appearance, his identity wasn't simple. Do you want to enter the Hao family? Tua Xiaogong ignored her silence and continued to ask. Yes. Sima Yue did not hide it. Since he knew about the Tao family, it was not strange for him to know about this. Do you know anything about the Hao family? Understood from your booklet, Sima Yue said. Tua Xiaogong was just thinking that this little girl actually understood the Hao family so quickly. It was really good. He didn't expect that she would say the second half of the sentence. His brain almost couldn't turn around. Since you know the ins and outs of the Hao family, then you should know how dangerous what you are about to do is, right? Do you need my help? Young Tua asked respectfully. Sima Yue looked up at him. As long as I help, your master and teacher will be able to come out safely. Tua Xiaogong said confidently. What are your conditions? Lord Island Master. Sima Yue said slowly. How do you know my identity? Young Tua asked respectfully. According to the information he got, she didn't deliberately ask about him. I guessed. Sima Yue did not intend to elaborate. Tell me your conditions first. If Tua Xiaogong could help, then she wouldn't have to go. Of course, the prerequisite was that she could accept the conditions. Actually, it's nothing. As long as you agree to stay for a few years. Tua Xiaogong said. He felt that his condition was simple and easy to fulfill. Sima Yue should not reject him. However, he didn't expect Sima Yue to reject him without even thinking about it. I still have things to do. I can't stay here, she said. Although I can have less trouble with this matter if you help me, I have more important things to do outside. Tua Xiaogong was not angry. He pointed at Little Roar and said, Then leave this little guy here for a few years. He doesn't have the strength nor the ability. He only knows how to eat, drink and play all day long. He's not useful for what you want to do. It doesn't matter if he's not by your side. Little Roar, who was eating pastries with his mouth full, felt a sense of danger. He didn't even have time to wipe his mouth before he threw himself into Sima Yue's embrace. You can't leave me here alone. He grabbed onto Sima Yue's clothes and looked at her pitifully. Although Sima Yue didn't have such thoughts, he knew that he only knew how to play outside. What if Yu agreed? If he knew, he would have come back with Little Lucky. Tua Xiaogong looked at her and waited for her to make a decision. This time, she didn't reject him directly. Why do you want to leave Little Roar here? She asked. Leave it for Little Witch. It's rare to see what she likes. Tua Xiaogong said. Then why don't you choose Little Lucky? Although Little Lucky is following you, you don't have the right to decide. If you choose him, you definitely won't agree. But this little guy is different. You are his contracted master. Whatever you ask him to do, he won't dare to disobey. Tua Xiaogong said slowly. With the restriction of the contract, contracted beasts couldn't disobey any of their master's requests. Little Roar's body stiffened. He had never thought of this problem because Yu treated him extremely well. She never asked him to do anything he didn't like. But if she really ordered him to stay here, he wouldn't be able to reject her. Thinking of this, his entire body became listless. He didn't even have the energy he had before. Sima Yue saw him like this and stopped teasing him. She said to Tua Xiaogong, Little Roar has been by my side since he was young. If you separate him from me, he will probably be like this every day. You guys won't like him like this, right? When Little Roar heard her say this, he was happy. However, he still cooperated with her and acted as if he had nothing to live for. Forget it. The one who spoke was the witch. Sima Yue smiled. Actually, I think you should go outside and take a look. Maybe you'll see a different world. Go outside? That's right. You've always been on the island. You don't know what the outside world is like. You also don't know what the people outside live like. If you go to more places, maybe you'll have a different view on some things. Sima Yue said. Also, doesn't our island master always want to go out and play? It's good that he can be your companion. Tua Xiaogong's face darkened. How could this little girl say that? He was a diligent island master. How could he go out and play all the time? He only did it occasionally. Occasionally. However, going out to play, this idea wasn't bad. The witch and Tua Xiaogong had known each other for a long time. Seeing his expression, she knew that he was moved. But going out to play? She had never done this kind of thing before. Sister Wu go. Let me tell you, the outside world is really good. There are so many fun things to play with and so many good things to eat. Although those things aren't as good as you use, but Sima Yue couldn't stand Little Roar's noise and used her hand to cover his mouth. Little Wu, since the Crimson Pearl Convention has ended, there's nothing to do on the island. Why don't we go out and play? Tua Xiaogong said. All right then. Then we're leaving now? Tua Xiaogong said the wind and rain. You're not going to care about this matter? This matter was originally a grudge between her and the Hao clan. Why are we getting involved? Little girl, as long as you don't sink this island, it's fine. Tua Xiaogong's first sentence was for the witch and the second sentence was for Sima Yue. Sima Yue smiled and agreed. As long as she didn't sink the island, it was fine. He gave her quite a lot of authority. You're tuning in to the Echoes of the Heart YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.